Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they head to Denver and take on the Nuggets in the Ball Center. The tip-off is set for 8 o'clock. They'll be without several. Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan are out for the rest of the season with the respective own injuries. That's really just about a week. They'll also be without Keldon Johnson, who will miss his second consecutive game with a foot sprain. The Final Four is set for the ladies.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good do you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. He's looking right at you if you're staring into your screen. Good morning, Miss Becky. We're glad you're here. I'm Rob Thompson, and on the other side of the double pane in an ugly shirt, that's Easy-E Edwin Hafner. That's a burnt orange window if you're paying attention at home. Hey, we're glad you're with us today on a fine Tuesday morning. I was just reminded in the hallway that there was hail through our city. I hope none of y'all got that. I hope I didn't. I couldn't tell. Got here in the dark. By the way, if you're coming in on I-10, just inside of 1604, there's a giant puddle. I saw a car. Man, that is so scary to watch. A car drive into a puddle doing about 70. I bet whoever was driving it woke them up. But how you doing this morning, RJ? Stay up too late? Did you have a busy evening around the casa?
I'm doing wonderfully. It is a nice day to be alive. The sports
Always
sported
is.
Last night.
Oh, man.
I'm thoroughly satisfied with all the sporting action across the world on Monday night. And quite frankly, I'm excited to do it all again. Last night I was thinking about all the sports that we have coming up in the next, 10, 12 days.
VTO.
And I'm overwhelmed.
VTO.
Yeah.
VTO. No hail, but my car is also filthy, Rudolph. We joined the crowd, man. I drive on, I'm not going to talk about where my studio is. It doesn't really matter. But on the way to my studio, there's a car wash, one of the coin-operated old school stand with a gun. There's always people there washing their car at like 3:30 in the morning.
Well,
I'm not one to question, but I've always just found that odd. I don't just, maybe, some people live a lifestyle and that's just when they're free. I know I live an odd one, but I just found that odd. I've never washed a vehicle after I'd say midnight. For any reason, unless I was, cleaning the blood up, but that's a whole other story.
Even midnight's pretty late.
It's a little off-putting.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something going on. Further investigation might be required.
There's got to be more to this story.
Watching the games last night, there's this meme I've seen, or maybe it's a gift card. They're all basically the same. Some are just tangible and some are digital. It's fun. Don't you wish we knew we were in the golden age when we were in them, or something like that? The good old days. Don't you wish we knew we were in the good old days? I know
what you're talking about.
We're in the good old. Is that what is it?
Andy Bernard from the season finale of The Office.
This is long before The Office.
No, it's not. It says
There's only been 7 stories ever written
before you've left them.
And that's been said many times. In fact, I think it goes back to Mark Twain. But we will. I'm probably wrong there. But it doesn't. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. I know we are in the good old days of ladies basketball. I know it. It's just wonderful. I feel like I'm mid-'80s basketball. I feel like I'm watching, the league become. I'm watching all these stars just come out. Juju. Wow. Paige. Oh my gosh.
Paige was incredible. Obviously, Caitlin is Caitlin. I saw
and let's not give Reese any less, man. 20 bounds. She dominated in the first half. She was like Marvin Hagler in the first half.
We talked yesterday about how it's satisfying sometimes when things go chalk and you get to see the heavyweights or the favorites kind of play each other. like I think the best example of that I always think of is the Rose Bowl. I know you dogged on Edwin, sure, but there was something satisfying to see one USC, two Texas.
True. No, you're absolutely
go at
right.
one another.
I'm proud of that. Hook 'em. Ouch.
But anyway, there's something incredibly satisfying to going into last night saying these two games are gonna rock. And then they do rock, and they appropriately rock. They overwhelmingly rock, and now I mean the Final Four is going to be incredible. I mean the Final Four on the women's side is divine. I mean it is truly the sweetest honey that we could have possibly imagined.
You saved the Caitlin performance for. I get a sense there's going to probably be a third of this country who feel like, well, that was a championship. I'm going to go watch some baseball. I mean, the good news is there's at least 2 good games left, maybe 3. As the Final Four is here, it felt like a national championship, and it was a slugfest. We'll look into that, the ramifications, the stars, and the glory of women's basketball. The last bastion of X's and O's, coaches and teams being singular and together. It's just a wonderful thing to watch. I hope everybody got a chance to see it. And we're just headed toward the Final Four. And I get the sense, my goodness, South Carolina, the juggernaut, as good as Iowa was, I'm not sure they're as good as South Carolina. It's going to be a heck of a Final Four this weekend. And that didn't even include the men. So we'll talk men's as well. The pro football world, man, it's getting closer and closer to Zeke time. We'll look at what went over the overnight time up there in the Frisco's. But we're going to spend a lot of time on the Spurs today. It's the end of the season. We had some news yesterday. We know that Jeremy's got an impingement, which I don't know if that's supposed to make us scared or it's supposed to be so vague. It's a good enough reason to leave. It's kind of like the old one was plantar fasciitis, sore feet.
Right.
But so he's got an ankle impingement, although it didn't look good. And Devin is gone as well. Devin has a stress reaction, which is like a bruise. While Sohan has have to have surgery with this impingement. So they're done, but they won't have Keldon tonight either as they're heading into Denver. But Wemby, man, you ever wanted to prove a point? You ever wanted to show the world that you didn't need anybody, that it was the other dudes holding you back? Tonight's your night, my brother. I wonder if Bob's going to play. Would you play Wemby tonight?
No, well, I mean, I think that we talked about this. Like, it would have been kind of nice to go out on the feeling of last Friday night.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been a great last taste of this season and of Wemby, and obviously there's nothing achievable from the standpoint of any more awards than he's already kind of in line to receive. So there was very little, I think, to gain already as we looked ahead to this week, regarding Wemby. And so now there's even less, right? Like are you really going to feel better about, is there anything Wemby can do tonight to make, like, okay, he goes out and balls out without Jeremy and Devin and Keldon. Does that really impress you in a different way?
It's an impossibility. I mean, you're asking the impossible, but
No, be smart.
No, I agree. I think the ceremonial and it was the unofficial end of the season. Certainly the ceremonial last rites. Although there is still the chase. I mean, you still don't want to be the worst team in franchise history. There are 3 wins to be sought, but I think when we were looking at it, this was a definite no. Although the last time we played them wasn't bad. We're going to talk about it. Denver tonight. So were you watching the Astros? Did you see Ronel Blanco?
I was watching everything because
that's right. You got the fancy Fubo.
Yeah.
I don't have the box. I'm cheap. I'm sorry.
Last night was a sports charcuterie board. It just offered everything and anything. And I did watch the Houston Astros and Ronel Blanco throw a no-hitter. It was amazing. It was incredible. And that was kind of sandwiched in between these basketball games. You could have watched all this, if you flipped properly.
It's not about flipping.
To improve.
See, that for those that, and I think most people have already done the research on cord cutting, and everybody has reasons to stay or go. Me, I didn't do enough research. I just got sick of the crap of not being able to watch the Spurs. So my only venue was through going digital. So once I did it, I didn't know some of the problems. And flipping is now the primary issue because going between apps is such a time-consuming effort. And I do appreciate the way Fubo treats me so that when I leave them, no matter what I'm watching, when I come back, I'm exactly where I was. I like that. But as I flip back and forth, especially in basketball games, I get further and further behind in everything I'm watching. So
this sounds like a user error, dude.
Well, no, dude. I don't know. Does your Fubo do that? Does anybody else's Fubo do that?
No,
because when I leave
channel,
no, when I'm talking about leaving the app, because I've been going back and forth between Max, which is my pipeline to the TBS TNT broadcast, both NBA and college, and True TV, and then Fubo, which was my CBS primary game. So I was going back and forth between apps. Whenever I would leave the Fubo app and go to the Max app to watch the other game that was on and in progress, I could go back to Fubo and it would let me be exactly where I was. So I'd never missed anything, which was nice. They know that there's a lag. But if you're like me wanting to watch both and go back and forth and unable to watch both at the same time for both technical and I don't know, mental issues, I just can't process the two. I just start lagging to the point where I'm just going to watch one game, record the other. And if I hear it's phenomenal, I'll watch the thing to get the taste. If not, I'll go to the YouTube 10-minute ice cream cone of it. So the flipping back and forth is not a thing that's possible with me anymore.
It's a personal thing. I think we've got to design.
We all have our El Guapos, RJ. We all have them.
Wow. I'm sad for you.
Well, you should be. What'd you have for dinner?
I had Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Put some respect on it.
I did some blackened chicken.
How was it?
It's fair to middling. I made my own blackened spice and I put a little too much something in it. I couldn't quite figure it out. So I wouldn't.
That's a little too much work for me.
It was, well, I have a little bit of time. Hey, we're going to be out at the VTO all week, starting Thursday. You should hang around with us. We have some tickets to give away today, right? Do we have tickets, Edwin? We better have them now that I brought them up, and I'm going to be there. And I see the weather. It's going to be kind of nippy in the morning, so we're going to have to bundle up as we head out to the VTO. I can't wait. It's one of the best times to be in San Antonio.
Petite Strawberry Festival.
But, I have something better than that. Is that a good bridge? Did I cover that well?
Yeah.
I actually have something better than that. I guess that they had the Poteet last night, and today I have Poteet Strawberry Festival. A family 4-pack, which is 2 more tickets than I would have had to the golf tournament. So this is better today. Tomorrow I'll have golf tournament tickets. But today, I got GA tickets good for any of the dates. All ages can head over to the Strawberry Festival and begin the spring season that is San Antonio. It's the ceremonial beginning, and I cannot wait. Head down to Poteet, have me a couple of different strawberry dishes. See some folks I only see once a year. Muddy up the boots and have a good time. We'll see everybody at the Poteet. We got tickets to give away today. But coming back, here we sit on a Tuesday, and the world opens up for the Spurs offseason. Who's on a boat? Who's headed where? Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell are out for the season. Keldon's out. They're heading to Denver. We're going to hear from Brian Windhorst and a variety of folks talking about the star that is Wemby and where the Spurs are going and how they're going to get there. A lot of different perspective. You're not going to want to miss any of it. So let's take care of this. Let's pay for this fantastic show. We'll be right back. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nothing beats March Madness. The pure sound of a swish, the rattle of a slam dunk, the fans on their feet for the big moments. And the action just keeps getting better until a national champion is crowned. Hear all the action with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's and women's tournaments right here
on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and San Antonio's ESPN 1250.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 4/6. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Public health is more than just healthcare. While a doctor treats individuals, public health looks at the health of a community. At Metro Health, we research the risk of illness and take action to stop the spread of infectious diseases. We introduce prevention and early detection activities that help individuals enjoy healthier lives. We protect against environmental health hazards. Metro Health collaborates with community partners to improve health outcomes because we are all public health. Celebrate National Public Health Week with us. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Heard the catchphrase that's sweeping the nation?
Jackson, Hugh, yeah.
People are saying Jackson Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt because they love saving money on tax prep. Do you love saving money? Then switch to Jackson Hewitt today and pay less than last year. Thousands of people have already made the switch. Why haven't you? Stop waiting and start filing. You won't get a better deal or a better catchphrase. All together now.
Jackson Hugh, yeah!
Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply. Stop. Opt out.
Guys, let's get real about your hair loss. How long have you been wearing a hat, hiding thinning hair, or a rapidly growing bald spot? Just stop it. You're not a 12-year-old little leaguer, you're a grown man. It's time to take action. Let the hat go and get your real hair back permanently with Bosley. You heard that right. Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. And right now, Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone that texts MORE to 200-300. Plus, text right now and get a link to this month's incredible deals. Join the millions of people who come to Bosley and see just how awesome your hair could look. Text MORE to 200-300 for your absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card off, plus a special link to incredible deals. Text MORE to 200-300 now. Text MORE to 200-300.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
Hey, huddle up. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Check us out on our YouTube feed. And when you're there, make sure you are appropriately subscribed and liking, telling friends, and doing all that we ask. I mean, it ain't much. Is it? Just look at RJ. I mean, just take a look. It just takes one click a day. Just one. To keep him fed and happy.
Put food on our tables. Basically, is what we're asking.
Really? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I got tickets and trade. If you'll promise to have already done that, I might have some Poteet Strawberry Festival tickets for you. And as always, we'll reward our morning crew. So it should happen here
morning crew.
In just a couple of minutes. No big surprise that Sohan was done once we heard his ankle was impinged. We're going to talk with Dr. Garrett tomorrow and find out exactly what the hell that means. Devin Vassell is out with a stress reaction in his foot. Now, word is that Sohan will need surgery. And we were talking in the break, RJ, that, he's already announced that he's going to play for the Polish national team.
Yeah, that might be in jeopardy.
Is it? Or is this a precautionary move to ensure that he's able to play for the Polish national?
I think it's probably both.
Well, there's two different things. I
think it can be true that the Spurs are doing what they can, given their current situation, to give him every opportunity to be ready. However, the injury does literally make it less likely. However, that's up to you. But that he'll be available for Poland to compete in the Olympics. You think Wemby's like? You think Wemby's like, dude? Don't waste your time.
There's so many questions when you come to this, because this is one thing that old time Spurs fans dealt with before. Now you have to be old timey, but there was back in the day, all our guys went to go play in the Olympics and the FIBAs, and they went all over the world. We lost Manu to Argentina and Parker to France, and we lost Tim to us, amongst others. And it did wear down the tires. We saw that there were some repetitive use injuries in those mid-2000s that we probably wouldn't have had to deal with if they'd taken summers off like regular folk and gone to some clear-watered island and drank drinks out of the actual fruit itself. But they chose to go play for their countries. Like, we get it. And I get the sense that Pop would probably foster that to the extent that, this season's done, bro. Take a week, get yourself surgerized and head to Poland and represent the colors.
I'm not at all accusing the Spurs, and I mean it seriously, of fudging this in any kind of way. No, but and this is a weird way to put it, but the timing of the injuries, at least, is convenient for where they're at, right? The Friday night was great. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Wemby, Brunson. We threw the ball, right? Like, everything was awesome on Friday night, even though Rob had the ultimate get off my lawn. Like,
well,
please
the NBA backed me up. We're gonna talk about this at 7 o'clock, and we're gonna have some sound from Windhorse. And I think my suggestion and thoughts were validated by the league and by
anyhow, we had that, and we had Sunday, which was a fun game, and kind of.
It was a good game.
Oh, no, but I'm fine if you want to go play out against the Warriors. You want to go play that team. You want to play against Steph and Kerr and everything. And cool. But as of Sunday night, the shutdown felt pretty obvious, right? Like, it was the final day at the plant, and, half the staff didn't come in. It was like, let's turn the lights off and and let's all get out of town for a few months. And that's where the Spurs are at. And so I would not be stunned if Wemby's last game of the season is right around the corner. Could be tonight.
As you sit today, I think we can all agree he ain't going to get defensive player of the year. It's just not going to happen. The defensive issues, the team, the wins, it's just not enough. But he's a first team all defensive player, right?
The Athletic had a roundtable among some of their writers where they kind of kicking around, who are you voting for? They all had Wemby as a first team all defensive player. And so, I mean, it's, we're not the only ones kind of, I wouldn't say we're drinking the Kool-Aid. We're chugging. Like Rob is doing a Kool-Aid cake stand right now. We're like, Rob. And yeah, I mean, he's the Wemby hype ahead of next season is going to be insane on a national level, especially if the Spurs do follow through with what we believe them to be setting up for and acquiring another all-star, surrounding him with, proper talent. If that's the case, we're on the verge of the good old days. It's hard to go back to them, as you talked about a moment ago, but we might actually be able to do it.
Let's talk about the good old days, the golden age. Do you get the sense we're at the dawn of something spectacular? Last night was extraordinary. As the Final Four is set, we saw Caitlin take down, with her Iwettes, LSU and Ms. Reese. It was a heck of a game. We're going to talk about what we saw there early and late and look forward to what's going to be a spectacular Final Four. These are the golden days. Let's enjoy them. And speaking of golden days, we got a golden arm and Ronel Blanco and no hitter. We'll look at that at 6:45. Hang around with us. We got a lot to do, and we're glad you're with us. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, I hear there could be a reunion between Zeke Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys. And if there is that going to solve all their offensive problems?
Can you hear my eyes rolling? Maybe goal line, short yardage situations, but no, that's not the answer. But we'll talk about it. Plus, Spurs, they play the Nuggets tonight. We'll get you ready.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
San Antonians love a good party, and the Valero Texas Open is one you don't want to miss. Enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. So buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 4th through the 7th.
The LaTappe Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. LaTappe, Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets, the bus wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Hard work, dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you, so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help, because you're going places. Let's go. And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Mealtime will be a breeze this spring when you shop at Family Dollar. Whether you're shopping for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you'll be sure to find great deals on every meal for the whole family. Only at Family Dollar, helping you do more.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Mow the Distance is back at your local Gravely dealer. Now through Monday, you can save up to 25% with special financing available on America's most rugged mowers, including the ZTHD, the residential mower built to commercial standards. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items like the self-leveling green laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect pass-through socket set for $49.98, which you can only find at Lowe's. Shop Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, huddle up. Got a Tuesday edition of the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. He manages the editing of Blogging the Boys. If you haven't read it already, how can you call yourself a Cowboy fan? Make sure you're hitting it on the regular and following RJ as appropriate. I'm Rob Thompson, other side. That's Easy E. Make sure you're following me as well. I like that kind of stuff. RJ, watching the games last night, I remember when it was 1979. I hate to date myself, but 1979, it was the middle of March. I was a freshman in high school, just starting to play basketball. And I remember watching a Michigan State Notre Dame game. And there'd been some hype about Magic Johnson. But at that moment, at that time, there's another guy on that team named Greg Kelser, who was really kind of thought of as a star as well. And I tuned in wanting to be a Greg Kelser fan. And he got 34 points that night in a Michigan State Notre Dame game. There were 4 NBA players on that Notre Dame team. Orlando Woolridge and Kelly Tripucka. They were good. Bill Hanslick was on this team. All NBAs. So Magic went and had like 17, but he had 13 assists. And I remember watching him thinking, man, I want to do that. Last night, how many girls saw the two games and thought, man, I want to be like Caitlin. It was perfect last night. I couldn't
mean,
get over how perfect the night was.
Your point is valid, but I would just widen it. I mean, how many girls said I want to be like Juju? How many? Not even girls.
I'm just saying. Yes, because I tuned in to be a Kelser fan, and I thought that was the guy, and then I saw this other thing, and I thought, wow. And you had your choice, Paige Buchers. Oh my gosh, any other year.
And not again. I mean, I know you said girls, but how many just ballers? How many people today are, I mean, emulating them? We saw it. Whenever we talk about college basketball, I've mentioned this before. I always think back to, and I think we all do this with sports. Like you brought up this game in 1979. I found the game in question, by the way, if you're curious. For
really, you found stats on this game? Okay,
yeah.
My memory was Kelser had a great game, but Magic set the table. Just bounce pass and beautiful dime after dime. It was just
Magic
extraordinary.
Finished 19 points, 13 assists.
Yeah.
Kelser finished 15 of 25 for 34 points. Did also have 13 total rebounds. So nice little double-double there in 39 minutes. So I bet you can't tell me who led the way in scoring for the Irish, but that's a topic for a different day.
I just remember Tripucka was a baller on that team, but Orlando Woolridge was the beast on that team as well. I don't know.
No, the high scorer was Bill Hanslick, 19 points.
Hanslick was a baller. He spent
the Spartans won 80-68 in a game played in Indianapolis. This was in the regional final. Spartans won 80-68. But back to the current moment. So when I think of, like my most prominent memories as a college basketball fan, I think of kind of growing up in the 90s. And I always talk about the Pizza Hut, personal pizzas you would get, and the March Madness basketball you would get. And I had a UConn basketball that I've gotten, and like it's just like there's something about like the moment of college basketball that like something about even, and some of this was reinforced honestly for me watching UConn last night in their jerseys. They just it's such a college basketball looking jersey. In a way that others just aren't. And even Iowa, like the block font, it fits the moment and it fits the vibe. And so this was that. Like you could feel that we were seeing
the Ray Allen UConn teams that you're remembering.
Yeah. Or Rip Hamilton, or even Kemba a little bit. That's a little bit too far gone, but still, it felt like a game that you could put in a time capsule.
Right.
Like just a special moment. It was wonderful. It was exquisite. And I mean, the best part is it's not even over. I cannot wait for the upcoming weekends of sport. I mean, I love football season. I want to be very clear. It's the best time of the year, but holy crap, this is challenging that. I mean, this is flirting with it in a little bit of a sense. And there's, like what we love about football is kind of the tradition and the fall and the foods. Like there's a different kind of vibe here, and I'm really, really feeling it.
It was also an exhibition of just extraordinary coaching on all four teams. It's the last bastion of true chess, because it's just beautiful to watch 5 players on a string and 4 teams last night. All 4 of them just were unique and perfect teams that just better teams won last night. 5 slamma jamma. E. Huey jumps in, man. Yeah, I remember those cats too well. There's a dude named Benny Anders who's still holding on to one of my ankles. Took one, just flat out stole it from me.
You know what I'm kind of grateful for? And this is a weird, or not grateful, but the Kim Mulkey story of last week. So I saw this tweet yesterday, and there was a screen grab of, I think, First Take, or it was one of those shows, and the headline was, again, this was 24 hours ago, so to speak. How important is tonight for Caitlin Clark's legacy? And but the caption on the tweet was, "This is how we know women's college basketball has made it," right? Like that we're asking these stupid questions, right? Is so representative of the fact that everyone cares so much. And it was such an, I talk about tentpole events a lot on the internet and Twitter and like the Oscar stuff like that. This was such a communal experience for everyone. And obviously some people have dogs in the fight. Some people are rooting for specific storylines or specific players or specific teams. But the Kim Mulkey story kind of added to that. Like this was a fever pitch of sports narrative. Like you had the controversial story looming. You have the legacy. You have the all-time, title chaser. You have the would-be villains that she has to slay. You have the kind of new school blue bloods. I mean, again, I don't know an element of this that they didn't, just in like the heaviest quill ink possible, check off a box. It was divine. I mean, it was a 7-course meal in which every bite was outstanding.
Do you see the potential? I do, of the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark rivalry going for years. I mean, they're just such natural foes to each other. She is,
I don't know,
just dominant. And what did she have? Like, she had 20 rebounds. She could have had 30 last night if she hadn't fouled out.
I don't know. So exactly, I'm pulling up the box score right now. She had 17 points and 20 rebounds flat, 10 on both sides. So it's not like she was doing, some people do work a little bit one way. I mean,
it was Zach Edey-esque. I mean, just as dominant. She just owned the paint.
And, I'm a big golf fan. You chanted VTO. Everyone has seen the photo of Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth when they were kids eating hot dogs together. I love that we continually get the USA flashbacks of Paige and Caitlin and just kind of like how these players have all kind of grown together and now they're here and now they're leading these different programs. And you've got Gino, like, again, like the fact that Gino is such a secondary character in all this is so cool. Perfect. I mean, I remember when A&M won the title in 2011 and the whole story was Gary Blair.
Right.
And so it is so, and Gino's obviously been a massive story relative to UConn women's basketball and the streaks and things like that. And that he is not even in the top almost 10 of things that we are talking about is, again, a really incredible representation of where we are in this moment.
And knowing Gino's ego, he doesn't like it. But if you ask him in hindsight, when he looks back on time, I think he'll appreciate the fact that they are standing on his shoulders and he is indeed a giant. I mean, he has brought this thing.
Gino isn't even the coolest coach at UConn right now. So
isn't that nuts? We'll talk about the college side in the 8 o'clock hour. But coming back, man, oh man, did they need that? A no-hitter from the Stros after a arse whooping up in New York. We're going to talk, from New York. Hey, we're talking Stros, we're talking baseball, and a no-hitter around the corner. Hang around. This is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio's Sports Star. The Institute for Functional Health is a place I walked into. Their old office down on Ashby about 8 years ago. Met Dr. Jacob Torres then. I was a sweaty fat guy then. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was not in the best shape, and I didn't think I could ever get out of it. I'd been like a lot of you guys. I tried. It just didn't work. Well, I didn't even really try that hard. And I didn't really want to be honest with you. But the doctors were hinting, and it was time to start looking at medicines, and it was a conversation I thought was worthy. And Dr. Torres, bless the man. I'll tell you what, he convinced a guy who didn't really want to be convinced that just a couple of alterations, just a little bit of attention can start to leading to little results. And little results, man, oh man, they lead to big ones. Before you know it, I'm down 80 pounds. Yeah, that's where I sit today. How many people do you know that can say they've been with the same physician on a process like mine for this long? I'll tell you, not many, because everybody that works with Dr. Torres, we do that. You know why? Because he teaches us a lot of stuff and he bases everything he does in science. It's not some kind of fad thing. You lose weight a certain way and it's always been that way and he hasn't changed it. But he also understands some of us come to the table with some underlying issues that we might not even know about. It's a full medical facility. I was thoroughly tested. My history all played a role in how things were done. And before you know it, it worked. And I want that for you. The best thing you can do for yourself is call and talk to Dr. Torres. Do your due diligence. Find out what so many of us know that can work for you. Here's the number you need. It's 210-468-1891. The website is IFF Health. Do yourself a favor. Go there, check it out. Take the functional health test. It'll open your eyes, I promise you. But listen to me close. If you're tired of being tired and thinking getting old just stinks because you're getting old, you don't have to. You're taking prescription drugs that you don't want to, and if you're tired of waking up tired, it's time to change. Call them today. Go to IFFhealth.com for all the info. And I know, get started. You're going to be thanking me later.
Nothing beats March Madness. The pure sound of a swish, the rattle of a slam dunk, the fans on their feet for the big moments. And the action just keeps getting better until a national champion is crowned. Hear all the action with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's and women's tournaments right here
on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and San Antonio's ESPN 1250.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Heard the catchphrase that's sweeping the nation?
Jackson, Hugh, yeah.
People are saying Jackson Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt because they love saving money on tax prep. Do you love saving money? Then switch to Jackson Hewitt today and pay less than last year. Thousands of people have already made the switch. Why haven't you? Stop waiting and start filing. You won't get a better deal or a better catchphrase. All together now.
Jackson Hugh, yeah.
Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
The smarter way to treat your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh yeah, let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million prize at sasportstar.com.
Hey, good morning to you. The Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We're glad you're with us today. Boy, they needed that. No hitter last night with the Stros. I'll admit I was paying my attention elsewhere as watching the hardwood. I don't have one of those fancy setups with all the different screens watching me. I soon will. I found a hack, thanks you to RJ, in a small Apple box. But in between time, what's his name?
Ronel Blanco.
Put it up on some kind of memory board. That's a no-hitter last night. 10-0 over the Blue Jays.
This was an incredible baseball game and a really, really, really historic one. It was obviously the first win of the season for the Astros, and therefore the first win of Joe Espada's managerial career. He became the first manager in Major League Baseball history to get his first win of his career. Actually, the first win with any new team. Like nobody's ever gotten one in their first game with a new team either.
With a no-hitter?
Yeah, with a no-hitter. So he did that. It is the earliest no-hitter to ever occur in Major League Baseball history, although the start of the season has been bumped up, several times. So, I mean, that's a little bit clouded. It is the most runs that the Astros have scored in a no-hitter. They scored 10, and some of that was off of the heels of Kyle Tucker, who had 2 home runs. Jeremy Pena homered for the first time since July 5th. And that was a big story in and of itself, but how could it be with this no-hitter happening? Yainer Diaz, the new Houston Astros catcher who Dusty Baker refused to play, had 2 home runs himself. He became, Rob, the first player in Major League Baseball history to homer twice while catching a no-hitter. Ronel Blanco himself is only on the team because of injuries to Justin Verlander and Jose Urquidy and Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers Jr. He was the last man on the team and found out he made the team like 5 hours after his daughter was born. I mean, this whole thing was just it was a movie. I mean, watching this unfold. Sometimes sports are they're just perfect.
And then they're wearing those weird blue Space City uniforms, which made it even more surreal to watch the highlights. He was also, did you see the Abreu stab to save it late?
Holy crap.
Yes, sir, man.
That was the most dramatic that things got. And it worked out. I mean, it really, really worked out. The Astros, Rob, since the summer of 2022, have thrown 4 no-hitters, one of which occurred in the World Series that fall.
I do recall that.
The rest of Major League Baseball has 3 in that time span, which is crazy to consider. Since the Astros became a team in 1962, they have 17 no-hitters. That is the most in that particular time frame, which is, again, their entire existence. The Dodgers are second with 13. I mean, it's insane.
They're stealing signs. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing some kind of hoping with the batter. I don't know what's going on. Pitching isn't reason why they're winning. They're cheating somehow.
It was so cool to watch. And again, you think Joe Espada's like, I guess they all have to be like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this is easy. I just had to get away from New York or get them out of my building. That's all we needed.
Exactly. No, this was a cool thing to happen in between the basketball games that we saw last night.
That combined with the Rangers look good, man. They're slugging. Although it's the Cubs. Jonah Heim looking pretty. Although who got hurt? Somebody got hit with a hit.
Josh Young.
Yeah, Young got hurt.
The Rays, not the Cubs.
Yeah, but but Young's hurt.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, but they were playing the Rays.
Yeah, I know.
The Cubs.
I'm sorry. I jumped backwards.
He fractured his wrist, so that is
that was
tough scene.
Sunday. That was Sunday, right?
Yeah. And the reports came out yesterday. So tough times. You ever fracture your wrist?
No, thank goodness. I've never even impinged a wrist.
Ooh.
But Jeremy Sohan has impinged his ankle, and Devin Vassell has a stress reaction in his foot and in his brain. I don't know. It's got a stress reaction. I don't know what that is. We're going to talk Spurs around the corner. We've waved goodbye to 2 of the 3 amigos. We will figure out where Wemby heads next and what kind of awards will that guy get. We're going to hear from Wendy, the lamprey of LeBron. He knows of what he speaks with superstars and building teams. What do you hear? What he has to say? It's pretty darn interesting. RJ, sit and listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about. I fully endorse all the breaks that are following, as does RJ. Hold on tight. The Huddle continues next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Public health is more than just healthcare. While a doctor treats individuals, public health looks at the health of a community. At Metro Health, we research the risk of illness and take action to stop the spread of infectious diseases. We introduce prevention and early detection activities that help individuals enjoy healthier lives. We protect against environmental health hazards. Metro Health collaborates with community partners to improve health outcomes because we are all public health. Celebrate National Public Health Week with us. Learn more at sa.gov/health.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AISTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic. Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous. I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at nordicUSA.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Viva Fitness. Fiesta Fit Fest presented by HEB is coming to San Antonio, April 12th through the 14th, 2024. Get geared up to party and celebrate all things fitness. Headlined by La Tap, Texas, the Tour de France cycling event. Burn it to earn it. Fiesta Fit Fest features the SATX 5K, 10K runs presented by Michelob Ultra. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Sponsored by HEB, Thomas J. Henry, Michelob Ultra, University Health, and Expel.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Spurs return to action tonight. They're in Denver in the Ball Arena. Tip-off is set for 8 o'clock, and they're going to be shorthanded. Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan out for the season. Jeremy with a bad ankle, Devin with a stress reaction in his foot. The Houston Astros had a no-hitter last night, 10-0 over the Blue Jays.
sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. We do Silver and Black every day at 7 o'clock. We're glad you're with us. If you got the notification, thank you so much. If you didn't, you better subscribe so you get the joy of joining us with this any time of day. He is RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson, and we talk Silver and Black. And as we do that every day, the season is winding down, and we will do so without Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell to kick around anymore, as they're both going to miss the rest of the season. Jeremy's got an ankle impingement surgery headed his way, and Devin Vassell has a stress reaction, which I have a stress reaction just about every day, RJ. But I come to work.
Well, is your work as physically demanding as Jeremy?
Just look at Devin's. Have you watched this? I'm doing calisthenics.
Do you see what I'm working with here? Yeah.
Just take a look at this.
I'm not in any way denying or doubting or questioning the seriousness or the validity of what's happening here, but the timing here is awfully convenient, right? The Spurs got the last kind of, big win, big moment, last batch of good vibes, and now it's kind of time to head on into Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Head on in and take a look at the day's catch and cook it on up and get ready for tomorrow. Although tomorrow doesn't come till the fall around here.
So tonight, the Nuggos, they're 3 wins away from trying. 2 wins to tie, 1 to surpass. That's not really the best word. You're not surpassing anybody, but you're not going to be the worst with 21 wins.
Right.
I think that was questionable when we were fully staffed. Now I'm pretty sure that's all for naught, and we have a built-in kind of excuse. The good news is, as the Spurs sit, they have the 4th best opportunity to get the number 1 pick, although the other guys are kind of locked in there. So it's not all bad to continue to lose. What's the Wendy podcast called? The Collective, the Cooperative,
the Hoop Collective.
It sounds socialist to me. I don't like that stuff.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from, but
you clearly have some internal feelings that you need to work through.
Who are Wimby's comrades of this collective that they're sitting around talking
Wendy's,
about?
Not Wimby's.
I said Wendy. I said who? I'm sorry.
You said Wemby right now.
I'm sorry. Wendy. Who are Wendy's comrades in this collective that he's sitting around talking with?
Well, I mean, first of all,
name names.
Tim Bontemps and Jorge Sedano.
Really? He's in there with Jorge.
That's a recent episode.
I used to work with
Tim McMahon, Tim Bontemps. Again, there's a rotational cast of people. I mean, it's Wendy and a bunch of NBA types, so to speak.
So I guess the arching question, I'm going to say as of today, in my mind, the season is done. The rest of this is kind of like going to the NIT. We can treat it however we want. I put it to you, if we can get close and there's an opportunity, I want all of the Austin Spurs to spend a game. And, we're going to take their team for a day. And they can all come down here, and we'll put them on a riverboat, and we're going to have a party. And we're going to show those Austin Spurs how much we love them and sacrifice them to, say, the Detroit Pistons. Isn't that a good way to end the season? I mean, they took our guys for a couple games. We'll take theirs.
Yeah, we should have to wear their uniforms.
Yeah, they have to bring their uniform. We'll put them in that SATX, that vaguely veiled with a giant A uniform.
Yeah, the S is like super small. You know what I mean? It's just like teeny tiny. It looks like an apostrophe.
Yeah, it's the ATEX Spurs is what it'll look like.
What do you think the point value is for Devin and Jeremy and Keldon? Keldon's out tonight. His season isn't over. But what do you think the point value associated with them is?
You mean
how many points would you say that they're worth to the team? And on a line,
on a plus minus, like the total. Are we netting this or
like how much do you think?
I think net they're going to be down about 10 points.
Oh, dude, you are so
even further than that. Wow,
the Spurs are the biggest underdog of the day as far as the slate of games. For context here, the Raptors, who we want to see win for obvious reasons,
They
are
ain't
12
winning
point
anything.
they're 12-point dogs in Toronto, where there's nothing to feel good about from a sports perspective because your Blue Jays had a no-hitter thrown against them by the Astros last night. But the Raptors are 12-point dogs against the Lakers, who are obviously vying for a playoff spot. The Bucks are 13.5-point favorites, despite barely being 500 under Doc Rivers, on the road against the Wizards. The Cavs are 11.5-point road favorites against the Jazz. These are still not the largest line of the day, as the Denver Nuggets at home are 16-point favorites against the San Antonio Spurs. Without Devin Vassell, without Jeremy Sohan, without Keldon Johnson, even with Victor Wembanyama seemingly available, it's representative of how tall of a task this is for the Spurs.
So first of all, I'm nothing if not vindictive.
I'm super petty. I'll hold a grudge.
I'm petty, and Cheesemay is all about me. But I just want to lead with this because I think it's very funny. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that was stuck with this. And even my son told me to get off my rocking chair and get off the porch on my take yesterday.
Was this Jack or Clay? Because
this was Clay. This was Clay. Told me to
Clay, you got a Starbucks gift card.
Sit down and shut up, old man. It was a celebration. That's basically what I got from him.
Okay.
The New York
story,
Knicks. Okay, so what happened? And we talked about it yesterday. As the game was over, Wemby did the Tim hug of the ball, and in celebration gave it the heave ho into the stands.
I'll take over the story from here.
All right.
So Rob,
well, I want to give some background.
Monday,
I want to give some background.
Okay.
I found out this morning, I didn't know this, that a Spurs ball boy realized. Oh, no, we're going to hear this. Okay, so I found out from this. So go ahead.
So on Monday, just to go chronologically here, we come in, we're all excited to talk about this. The Spurs won 3 games in a row. It's this like exclamation point, just cathartic, Andy Dufresne through the tunnel kind of moment for the Spurs.
I disagree wholeheartedly with this.
And Rob says,
memory of
I
yours.
can't believe the selfishness of Victor to throw the ball and in the moment, after an overtime win against one of the best teams in the East, best teams in the league for that matter, that he was not conscious of the fact that Jalen Brunson scored 61 points and that he did not personally hand deliver and gift wrap the ball so that Brunson could put it in his treasure chest of basketball accomplishments over the course of his career that is already highly decorated and likely carries a lot of memorabilia. So, Rob, you were the old man screaming to get off your lawn. How dare Victor? How dare he throw this ball into the stand?
Now, I do want to set the table a little bit deeper before we play this windy sound. And I'd forgotten about this yesterday, quite frankly, in my stupor from the eternity time. Remember the relationship between the Spurs and the Knicks? And it goes back all the way back to that big tall kid, not the one we got, the other one we wanted first. The what do they call him? The giraffe? No, he is the unicorn.
Porzingis.
I'm talking about. I'm joking. Porzingis. Remember, the Knicks were so sure that Pop or RC or somebody had flown to Serbia and had talked wherever he's from. I'm sorry, it's probably not that, but had flown to his home country to talk to him. There was never any validation into Latvia that they'd flown to Latvia when he was still a Knick and had tried to illegally recruit him. And then there was one of the Morris brothers was nearly here, and then we got him on the trade deadline. We held on to him until nobody could get him, and then we cut him. So this might have been the final Michael Corleone. All the other families are going to pay kind of comeback. Like, okay, Nick guy, you think we did this? We still hold a grudge for the Morris backing out of his contract, though he was signed. We're going to throw the ball in the stands. Jalen, go find your own damn ball. No, that's not the case. I was mad at Wemby for the way he acted. He grabbed the ball and he threw a 61-point ball. That same ball was used by Dante Vincenzo to set a Knick record for a total 3 points. It was kind of going to be a significant item, a significant totem in the history of these ball players. And Wemby threw it in the air and it was to go away. Listen to Wendy, and this is what happened.
While the Knicks were very complimentary of Victor, they were pretty much demanding that he get fined, because at the end of the game, in celebration of that big win for the Spurs, he threw the ball into the stands, which was the Jalen Brunson 61-point ball, which I don't think he really wanted. I think he'll want it later because it was, mellow.
Jalen's a wins and losses guy. He is not happy about that.
I mean, if it was Giannis, we know that he would have wanted the ball.
But all that's right. But also, Dante DiVincenzo set the Knicks record for threes in a season with it. Not that that's going into the Springfield, but like, the ball had some real value. And there's a ball boy working the Knicks bench. He's a Spurs ball boy working the Knicks bench. He like sprinted up into the stands and somehow got the ball back. I have no idea
That's awesome, by the
how
way.
he did, but he got it back. And the Knicks were in
Better got
possession.
taken care of.
Mhm.
The Knicks were very pleased about that and were in possession of the ball. But they were like, look, you're getting 25K, buddy. And Victor did not like that, as George mentioned. He was like, no, I've seen people throw the ball into the stands in anger many times, but I was throwing it out of happiness. I was trying to make a guy's day. If he would have made the guy's pocketbook. He's like, I shouldn't have gotten, 50, 25 grand for that. So welcome to the NBA, Victor.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That was just part of the collective that includes the Wendy.
Do you know how big of a beta loser you have to be to whine and cry that Victor should be, fined for this? I can understand being miffed, right? I can.
You can't hit me. I'm trying to take a shot.
I can totally understand the Knicks being mad, but to demand that what do the Knicks benefit from Victor
It's
losing
the
25
Knicks,
grand?
man. They don't like the Spurs. That's why I wanted to kind of paint the picture. That's just petty, man. That is Brolin.
I am so
Although he
mad
built
at
the sphere,
this
so
myself because I wanted to root for the Knicks in the playoffs this year. I like Jalen Brunson. Dante is great. Like, and again, there's something cool to the fact that they're, the peak of their collegiate career happened in San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
I think we have like a somewhat of a bit of a kinship with there. And so I wanted to root for them there. And it's cool to see the Knicks involved so heavily. Nah, I'm out. This is some big loser energy from the Knicks. Y'all can step, y'all can pass, you can pop all the rocks, you can do whatever. Whining and crying because you didn't get the game ball after you lost is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
It's the Knicks and it'll
And
continue.
they got the ball back.
I know,
Why are
and
you
they got
mad?
it back. I didn't realize they'd gotten the ball back. So pretty typical. But they did take a beating. With that in mind, as the guys are gone, Wemby's going to try to close out what has been a stellar season. On the top of your head, when you meet folks, when we're traveling around, you got your Spurs cap on. They go, oh, San Antonio, next year. What do you think next year is going to be on the top of your head? Is your expectation playoff basketball for the Spurs next year?
Easily. And avoid the play-in. Like, easy playoff spot you're in. By the way, on the subject of talking to people, our buddy Andrew Perloff's going to have to make a drive down.
Yes, he is. He's going to have to come
check
south
back in
and
there,
broadcast in the studio across the street or across the hall from us, maybe. I want you to listen to Tim Bontemps because I think that you and I and many are going to fall into a trap that might not necessarily be true. This is Tim Bontemps.
There's going to be an expectation from the average person that the Spurs are in the top 6 next year because of the way this season has ended, because of how great Victor has been. There's just going to be a general assumption that they're going to be awesome next year. And it's going to be very difficult to.
They're not.
I agree with you. I'm saying the general perception is going to be the Spurs should be in the playoffs. And there's going to be a pressure to speed this up because of that. And what the Spurs have to be careful about is not costing themselves the opportunity to get the kind of player that wants to come there later.
That's Tim Bontemps amongst the other socialists on the Hoop Collective there with Wendy. Is he too pessimistic?
Well, that to me sounds a little bit, I wouldn't accuse the Spurs of negotiating with their fans through the media, but that sounds a little bit of like, whoa,
slow the roll.
Yeah, don't expect too much from us. Like this, this is a little bit like, I've only hit it out of the park once, so if I don't do it right now, guys, when I was in middle school and I first joined the band and I was on, as a drummer, and I remember we're learning how to play the instruments, and all of my friends were like, "Oh, show us what you've learned." And it was this really like high pressure moment, and it was like 3 taps, and everybody was like, "Cool," And so this is that. But I think that's really, why wouldn't you have high expectations?
Well, okay,
Spurs should have high expectations.
We should, and I do
motivation.
think that there's a lot there, but we have to be realistic of where the Spurs sit, because as much as we like our young dudes, it's going to take so much more than what our young dudes have to offer. I mean, we need to get something else to go where the Spurs are going to want to go, and it might cost couple of these young dudes that we are growing to love and have the expectations to go there. But to get good where we want to be, top 6 or better, it's going to take another star. We know that. But how are the Spurs going to get a star? If we're going to take inventory and move stock, we're going to have to move some players, or they're going to have to convince a player to come here as a free agent. And that probably is going to be, and the Spurs method is probably going to have to include both. Wendy talked about who is going to come and how are they going to get there. It's going to take a certain kind of a player to decide to come to the Spurs in Wendy's eyes.
I think it's got to be a player who's like, I hate saying this word because I lived this for years in Cleveland. It's got to be a guy saying, I'm okay being Scottie Pippen, which Scottie Pippen wasn't necessarily okay with being Scottie Pippen, but like, and that makes a Jordan comparison, but like, they got to be a guy who says, I'm okay with that. Is at a point in his career where he wants that. That's what I think they need.
Brian Windhorst on his Hoop Collective podcast. Thoughts?
I think that's fair. I mean,
well, that doesn't fit the narrative that
the,
it's Trey Jones. That he doesn't want to be no Robin. He ain't no
Trey Young.
Trey Young. I'm sorry.
Trey Jones is.
Yes, we already got that guy, and he's
so
really good. But I'm just saying that doesn't really fit the narrative of what we're looking at, because my mind is, I don't want an old dude on his way out. I want a young stud who said, let's do this together.
Well, I think the modern NBA isn't as rigid with that, right? I mean, I think a good example, and I know this is frustrating to admit, but like, look at Luka and Kyrie.
Exactly.
I mean, would you say that Kyrie's not Scottie Pippen? You know, there are plenty of games
where
Giannis
and Dame.
If you're living in the analogy.
That's
another great example. There are plenty of nights and plenty of moments where it is the case, but where it's required to be the case, where the wingman or the Pippen, I think we would agree, are Kyrie and Dame on those respective teams. And so where they have to be the guy, it's still Dame time many a time for the Bucks. You know what I mean? There's still magic Kyrie moments for the Mavs. And I think it takes, Giannis obviously already has a title, but I think it takes a lot of losses for the Giannis's and the Lukas, and this never happened to Jordan, obviously, but to realize, you know what, like, I can't do it alone. I think the problem with the Cavs that Wendy's talking about is they always tried to, keep not that LeBron, I know a lot of people say a lot of things about LeBron, not that he had an inferiority complex, but that was your problem. I mean, it took LeBron finding another Jordan, I guess, to live, analogous here in Wade and Bosh for things to finally happen. Like if you just have a Pippen, then you're putting a ceiling on that player. And that's a kind of a stupid way to go about it. So yeah, Trey Young's still totally possible in my mind.
Jason Maya on our Brigade Bar says the Spurs won't get a free agent anytime soon. It'll have to come through the draft. Well, they talked about that. The Spurs have traditionally been flyover country. We've never been a destination of sort. But Wendy really would kind of beg to differ. This is not, listen to Wendy. I don't know how to take this, but I'll take it in the best possible light.
Make fun of me all you want. I've lived in Miami. I've lived in New York City. I spend 50 days a year in Los Angeles. You can say whatever you want about what I'm about to say, okay? San Antonio is a growing city. Lots and lots of people have moved to San Antonio in the last 4 or 5 years. I drove from Austin to San Antonio the other day. There is no difference between the cities now are grown together. I-35, it is one giant megalopolis from Austin to San Antonio. They're playing games in Austin now. Yeah. They have the number one practice facility in the NBA. If you want to think of it as a cow town, like it was the turn of the century, fine. And is it New York or LA? Of course not. But there's a whole bunch of people moving to Texas, and they're moving to Texas for a lot of reasons. And there's a lot of people moving to San Antonio. So it ain't Cleveland. And I say that as somebody from Cleveland. Okay. So say whatever you want about nobody ever wanting to be in San Antonio. Go ahead and say it. I'm telling you, that's not necessarily true. It may be true for a lot of guys. Somebody's going to be like, you know what? That's not a bad place. They have a great practice facility. There's no state income tax, and I can play with Victor Wembanyama for the rest of my career and make a ton of money.
Good organization, right? Good organization.
Of course, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm walking away. I'm leaving San Antonio now, but that's what I'm walking away saying.
Thank you, Wendy. Put that on a loop and broadcast it into space. I don't think we're quite there yet, but wow.
So, I mean, this is a general question, and some of this is person and family specific. But just quickly, Rob, kind of, I want to blitz these things. No pun intended.
I'm going.
You've lived in a lot of places in life. Would you rather live in the cities I'm going to rip off or San Antonio? Milwaukee.
No.
Right. Boston.
No.
Let's call it Miami.
A millionaire in Miami.
Yeah, if you're an NBA player, maybe Miami. Okay. Brooklyn.
Yes. Brooklyn. Yes.
I'd pass. Charlotte.
No. This is San Antonio better.
DC.
No.
Denver. Denver might win.
No, Denver is not what you think it is once you get there. No.
Oklahoma City. I mean, right? Okay. Minneapolis, Los Angeles.
You know what? Minneapolis don't sell them short, but no.
I would Phoenix. I mean, that's a great way to live.
We're
too.
headed that way. For the longest time, San Antonio and Phoenix were always considered about the same kind of cities. The population, there was a military base, there was the border, the mixture and all that. But Phoenix left us about 20 years ago. They left us. And we're gaining now.
My point is, I mean, good for Wendy for being, not a trope and not the hot take artist and saying something stupid just, for attention or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it makes I don't know who looks at things that way, right? Like who actually, and again, the idea that there is an uncomfortable NBA or NFL or MLB city to live in there's a Target everywhere, guys. There's a Chipotle everywhere. Like you will be fine. You know what I'm saying? And here, I mean, think about, we mentioned Miami. Think about like players like Ray Allen, right? Because that's kind of what we're close to needing as ancillary parts.
Yeah.
What was one of the biggest reasons Ray Allen wanted to go to Miami and leave Boston? It was to golf, right? Like he was like, I'm sick of this cold. I'm sick of this life. Like, yeah, I mean, so it's a warm climate. Then some people like the cold. Like some people, and I don't mean to make this so black and white with that, but I mean, the idea that this is not an appealing place for anyone to live and play and raise a family is so stupid.
Right.
It never applied in a real sense.
Well,
but
for a 22-year-old multimillionaire, I get why San Antonio probably wasn't the place I wanted to be. I get it. I always got it.
But the only part of what Wendy said that I disagree with or have a point about is he said, is it New York or LA? No. What is? Like right. Of all the NBA possible cities we could discuss and debate, like Boston is very cool and very interesting. Miami, very cool and interesting. But even Boston and Miami, which are massive, massive, massive places, are not LA or New York. And even then, I mean, I've never been to New York, but you have. We've been to LA, Super Bowls or whatever, training camps, things like that. Those are nightmare places to live and operate, even if you have all the money in the world. Unless you actually are LeBron James, it's impossible ergonomically to live and thrive there. And so when we go to training camp every year, it's a matter of like, God, I can't wait to get home. This sucks. I mean, and who wants to be on West Coast time all the time? No, miss me with that.
I disagree with the guy that will agree to be the Robin. Like, I'll be the second. I don't want any guy on my team that will agree to that. I want everybody aspiring to be A, but I also want everybody to understand their role. Everybody can't be first chair drummer, but you can play the cymbals pretty damn well. But the type of guy that you want to play with, Wemby, is going to matter. I give you this. I don't know about old grizzled veteran. Maybe not. But whoever they do bring in as a free agent, whether it be this year, next year, or the following, to be the piece, the guy needs to have at least been in the playoffs chasing something. Needs to have come from an organization and bring a mentality of success to Wemby. And that's why Trae Young to me he has enough of it from a couple of years ago. He carried a team on his back in a playoff run. But I don't want a dude that's running through 3 years. And I'll say, I don't want a guy. Now, Zion if he was available, that kind of thing. But I want a guy who has played in situations that mattered. That's all that matters to me.
You either need, that's the perfect type, like the Ray Allen guy, right? Like what you just talked about. I think there's also big brothers, so to speak, like Andre Iguodala at the beginning of the Golden State run. Like he didn't have the playoff, total experience that say like Ray Allen did. But he was a proper big brother and kind of person who could shoulder certain loads and understand certain things and had been around the NBA for a long time. So that's fair. And I think
Spurs have a history of that too.
Trae Young is somewhere in between there. Like he's a much more individually accomplished player right now than Iggy was at the time. But he's obviously not Ray Allen. And so, but to that point, that's why this is going to take more than one. You know, even if you go get Trae Young, like you can't stop. You can't be like, oh, we got Trae Young and Zach Collins. Let's ride. You know what I mean? Like you need a lot of help. That's why you have to be inordinately busy this offseason.
And I saw coming through the brigade bar, I want to give credit to whoever it was, but they listed a variety of names that Pop had brought in through the years, all the way back to like Caldwell Jones. And I remember Kevin Willis running around, dudes that showed up that had all played in games that mattered. It wasn't just, run-of-the-mill rookie or second, third-year contract guy that was a valuable glue guy, but, went to the playoffs one time, came to work, did a good job. But, the separator, that's my only prereq. After that, man, old, young, just come to it with something to bring and come to it with the Pop attitude is just get over yourself. And I think first and foremost, if you can do that, you can be Batman or Robin. It doesn't really even matter, but it does going to take a certain kind of a guy to come in and play.
We have talked about how the Spurs are going to have the big challenge of building this team around him. I really honestly only see one or two of these guys lasting for more than two seasons really around him. But having been in the Knicks locker room Friday night and been in the Warriors locker room tonight, the way these players are talking about Victor playing against him, Draymond tonight was like, Draymond used 4 veries. Very, 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 very good. These teams, not only are they blown away by what they're watching from Victor when they're playing against him, but where they saw him early in the season. And so all I'm going to say is this. Yes, the Spurs have a responsibility and a challenge to build this roster around him. But having spent this weekend here, I am going to say that there is going to be a player or two who is going to be forward thinking and want to get himself to San Antonio. Somebody is going to see this opportunity. This is my prediction. I am making a prediction. Somebody is going to see this opportunity and say, I can get myself to San Antonio. I can be this guy's running mate. I got to do it. And there's wide open space to do it.
That is Wendy on the Hoop Collective. Put that on another loop. Wendy promoting the Spurs and all that is. Hey, coming back when we talk Spurs, we're going to look at what that means and the players that are actually going to be available to be the guy or the Robin. But coming up, this weekend is going to host all kinds of records. We saw records set last night as Caitlin Clark carried their Iowa team forward. In the men's side, UConn and North Carolina State's both got teams in the Final Four for the first time that they've done it together. Other records to be set, and maybe an alumni challenge coming around the bend. Hey, we're talking college hoops because it's at its finest right now. Hold on, it's around the corner. You're on 94.1, and this is San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Thursday, April 18th at the beautiful Security Service Event Center. This elevated fiesta event for foodies includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, unlimited tastings from over 30 premier restaurants, countless curated wines and craft beers, hosted by Brighton Center, presented by HEB. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio, serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Kinetico water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Kinetico water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Kinetico water softener. Call the team at Kinetico at 656-PURE or online at KineticoSA.com. That's 656-PURE or KineticoSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
94.1. You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
It is indeed the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio's. we kind of fell right into that. He's RJ. I'm Rob. You're on San Antonio's Sports Star. How you doing this morning, RJ?
I am delicious. Yeah.
I'm trying to read your shirt.
World Series champions, Houston Astros.
Oh, well, in the shadow of the no-hitter, we're going to talk about that.
From my friends at Homage, the most comfortable shirts known to man.
Homage.
No free ads, but I mean,
it is what it is.
Trying to do people a service.
Last night was record-setting. Caitlin Clark, ridiculous. Bucher's amazing. Juju, a star. Angel Reese, a beast. It was four ladies, a confluence of greatness that, you just don't get very often. And I felt so much like I was at the beginning of something. Like we're starting something spectacular. Caitlin was utterly amazing. These are the records that were broken or tied last night. She's the first player in the NCAA tournament history with 3 career 40-point games. She assisted or scored on 71% of Iowa's points. 71%. There's been nobody closer to this. She is as much Kobe as Kobe ever was. She's as much Michael as Michael ever was.
I don't know, man.
Already.
I don't know that I think she's Kobe.
I'm just trying. No, I don't want to compare her to anybody.
No.
But
I know.
We're talking
I know
about the ability to dominate a game in every way.
I still wouldn't say she's Kobe because, and some of that is it doesn't fit in because Sabrina is Kobe, right? Like and some of that is like the relationship and
I get you. I get you.
So like if we're trying to do that for the sake of creativity, right? I don't know who I think Caitlin is. I mean, she is
Because it's not just buckets. Last night, 140 career assists in the tournament, passed Tamika Johnson with 136 for the most in NCAA tournament history. So it's not just buckets.
There's something so badass about the whole world expecting you to deliver and then you doing it. I mean, that just doesn't happen all too often.
I'm going to ask you a dumb question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you were
I thought of a comp, but go ahead.
No, oh, you did. I want to hear that first.
No. But I want you to
because
ask
it struck me as we were talking about the ridiculousness of what she's doing, and she's got the availability to do some other stuff. I know that the 3-on-3 that old man league, Ice Cube's,
right,
the big three have offered her some money. I know that she's destined for the WNBA, needs to be there, but she could make a lot of money staying at Iowa. We heard the story that there was talk about the conference itself coming up with the money because she's going to be Brock Purdy next year.
What?
She's going to go get paid nothing. You know what the rookie salary is in the WNBA?
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know where you were going.
I'm just saying she's going to be entirely underpaid for the position that she's in. Well, she could stay in college, and it would be like playing against, the JV every night she's out there. But I feel horrible that her situation is such that she's going to have to augment just her rookie salary with all the money that she's going to make, and she's going to make a ridiculous amount of money wherever she is. But it's just an awkward thing to find. But she's got to go because we are at the beginning of the number of players that are going to end up in the Basketball Hall of Fame on the women's side of the professional. It's all now. We're going to see more in this generation go in. Over the next, 20 years, everybody's playing now. Everybody that's headed in. This is a ridiculous time to be a women's or just a basketball fan. Other than women, nothing. Just the basketball fan.
83 NFL draft.
Feels that way.
Elway Marino. This is the 03 NBA draft, right? Like this generation of players is remarkable, which is exciting for the future and the potential for the WNBA. I know there's been a lot of discussions about how their media rights are one of the best sort of like unkept secrets in television. And so, I mean, I want them to be commensurated properly for their worth and beyond. I want all athletes to be, whether they're professional or collegiate at this point, but they are going to be these significant, and there already have been many, but trailblazers. I mean, they are going to lift women, and they are in the process of it, obviously, but at the collegiate level. They're going to lift women's basketball to a different level of interest and popularity and just kind of stature in place. We got a tweet. I don't know if you saw this. I know you were busy with your black and chicken and whatnot on Monday evening from, let's see, I'm pulling it up here, from J4 at Just4BadGamers on Twitter. Said, bro, he tweeted at you, me, and Pledge in the station. I never thought I'd ever have rushed home excited for a women's NCAA basketball game, but Caitlin Clark can be the savior of interest. I mean, she's a savior. She's a catalyst. She is the nuclear bomb, and that was my comp. She's Oppenheimer.
Can I
she's
talk
something
about
that you?
Oh yes,
you expected, like we all expected Oppenheimer to be this like amazing movie, just based off of the director and the cast and everything. And then people who you knew that saw it were like, Rob, it's a 10 out of 10. And sometimes when that happens, you go into it, and because the hype and the expectation is so high, it cannot possibly live up to it. But she does, night in and night out. And she is Oppenheimer. That's exactly who she is.
And my wife, bless her, she is a basketball mom. I mean, she grew up not having to deal with this and married into a family that's just what we've always been a part of. So the tournament's been rough on her. Like I bragged, I've seen every game. I've literally seen every game play, at least some of it. And last night, as we were settling in after dinner, she goes, "Is there basketball on?" It's like, "No, baby, there's no men's, but the ladies are on." And I just put it on. And if she would have complained and said something, I'd have had to have given it.
If I can also,
she goes,
go ahead.
But then she goes, "Man, she shot that from far," and I had her. At that moment, we were in. So bless Caitlin for that too. I have a feeling she saved a lot of arguments last night because she was so compelling. It was an Angel. Let's give I feel like we're not giving LSU enough credit. She was magnanimous in defeat and valiant. I mean, that first half was as good a basketball, I don't care what flavor you care for, as you'll ever see. I mean, it was slugfest, threes and rebounds and just beast mode in the paint, and Caitlin dropping dimes and hitting threes. LSU, what's the blonde point guard, the other point, the transfer? She is a straight up baller too. Fabulous night. And that was just the opening round. That was just the beginning of the night that brought Gino back to the Final Four as kind of a backdrop, and we haven't even begun to look at the best team in the country. We've talked for the last, 15 minutes about other three teams. We haven't even brought up South Carolina. They're undefeated.
It's unfortunate that Angel deals with the criticism that she does. I think some of
she thrives in it. She creates it. She wants it.
Well, I think some of that is we love to see Titans fall. Like as that's our like American society, right? As we love to see I agree with you. I'm just saying we love to see the dynasty crumble, right? We love to see the Achilles heel be attacked. And so there's something to like the team going down, and Caitlin is the titleless, challenger. And so there's the heroism, behind that story. I do want to, while we're on the subject of women's sports, quickly stump for the LPGA, because if you are somebody, and we're all, watching this and enthralled by it, the LPGA features right now, men's professional golf is in this incredibly weird and I'll honestly argue toxic place. Although I'm super excited for the Valero, super excited for the Masters, obviously, but everybody knows about the division among tours. The LPGA is incredible. Nelly Korda won this past week's event. She's won 3 events in a row. She's the number 1 golfer in the world. And the LPGA is the most exciting tour where the superstars deliver, kind of like we're talking about Caitlin and Angel and Juju and Paige, where it's this league or obviously it's college, but where the superstars are consistently delivering. That's exactly how the LPGA is. And so if you
leave it to the ladies
like I do, I mean, well, they do everything better than us, and that's the reality of
just
life.
One more thing, right?
And so and this past weekend, actually, you've got the number 1 golfer in the world, Nelly Korda, who's going for her 3rd title in a row. And the Golf Channel showed like the last 20 minutes of it because they preferred to show the Champions Tour instead. Now, no disrespect to my elders, but who the hell wants to watch this? And in a world where you make us pay for Peacock and all this crap, why can't you put it somewhere? If I'm going to pay for this, why can't you at least say, hey, man, every week we're going to make sure it's at least on Peacock so that if you want to watch this, you're a paying customer, you can have access to it. At least do that.
Does your Fubo have a channel dedicated entirely to one movie?
To one movie?
Just to one movie.
You're saying like a channel that plays like Back to the Future all day
long?
I
have a channel on my Fubo that only plays The Highlander 24 hours a day. It never stops. I still don't understand it. So there's what I'm getting at is there's some bandwidth for some lady golf.
Well, I mean, again,
there's space.
We live in a world where like there aren't a finite amount of channels. So if you're going to tell me, we don't have a channel, that's stupid in and of itself. But also beyond that, the ladies, the LPGA deserves significant priority over the Champions Tour. Again, all due respect.
You don't like watching old men golf?
And again, even in a channel-less world like Peacock, why can't you put it there? Well, you know what I mean? Why can't?
Well,
if you're making me pay for Peacock to get this, that, and the other, why can't you say, hey, look, we have our rights with the Champions Tour. That has to be on Golf Channel, but it is on Peacock if you want to watch it. It should not be inaccessible the way this was for the majority of Sunday's action.
I can't even get to a Spurs game. You think Lady PGA is going to be higher on the needs list? I can't. There's people who can't even get an NBA game. So
that's what I'm saying. Like,
there are other problems out there.
I get you. Watching sports hard. You're charging us out the wazoo. Let us watch what we want to watch.
To watch the Stros, what delivery method did you have? Were you on the route?
I have.
Remember that? The route,
dude. That hasn't been their name in a long time. Shout out to Space City Home Network, which broadcasted a no-hitter last night.
And they wore the jerseys that were appropriate. They wore blue, and there was a no-hitter to follow. Boy, did they need it. We're going to talk about what the Stros got The first week of Major League Baseball continues. No news on the Ohtani front. Is that good or bad? We're looking around the pastoral game that is coming up next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, I hear there could be a reunion between Zeke Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys. And if there is that going to solve all their offensive problems?
Can you hear my eyes rolling? Maybe goal line, short yardage situations, but no, that's not the answer. But we'll talk about it. Plus, Spurs, they play the Nuggets tonight. We'll get you ready.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. A car is never just a car. Kelley Blue Book knows it's so much more than that. It's your commuting chariot, your road trip refuge, your I just need a reason to get out of the house. Your car is there for everything. And for everything car, there's Kelley Blue Book. Need a new set of wheels? Price it on Kelley Blue Book. Problem under the hood? Fix it with Kelley Blue Book. Can another car do the job better? Trade it or sell it on Kelley Blue Book. We're here mile after mile, moment after moment. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it. KBB.com. Visit KelleyBlueBook.com to get the journey started.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on Carol. She's more focused on hitting a high note than the car in front of her. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hard work and dreams lead to success, but easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. Make filing taxes a walk in the park because we'll pre-fill your info for you so you can file quickly and confidently. Winner! Get the peace of mind that comes with expert help. Let's go! Being powered by TurboTax means you're backed by the leading tax preparer, and we'll show you all your filing options up front so there are no surprises. File your taxes on Intuit Credit Karma today. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ground ball. Dubon throws to first. No-hitter! Ronald Blanco in his 8th career start. The 30-year-old makes magic on April Fool's Day.
Yes, sir. The Astros win 10-0, taking down Toronto. His name is Ronel. Team first in your heart. An early no-hitter that set all kinds of records, RJ.
It was a magical night for the Astros. First win of the season, first win of Joe Espada's managerial career. Astros scored 10 runs off of 5 home runs, including 2 from the catcher who called a no-hitter. Holy crap.
Especially considering they were wearing that weird uniform.
You don't like it?
No, I don't dislike it at all. I just found it very different. I didn't expect
I just
it
don't.
when
I don't
on.
like the pants. It's so much navy.
It's a lot of blue.
Pants. Yeah, I wish the pants were white. That's my only qualm.
But Space City, I guess that's the new thing now. You got to put some.
Would you go to outer space if you had a chance?
Absolutely, depending on which service.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure which crazy billionaire I trust more, but I'm sure
or less.
Wow. When they don't cheat, they're unstoppable, says Goldfinger 123. They have never cheated. And you had an interesting number. The no-hitter that the Astros threw puts them at the forefront of those that have thrown. And there ain't no stealing pitches when we're talking no-hitters and pitching quality.
The Astros began playing in 1962. Since then, they have 17 no-hitters thrown. The next team with the next most is the Dodgers with 13. Since the summer of 2022, the Astros have thrown 4 no-hitters, one of which occurred during the World Series. A big deal. So they have 4 in the last, 20 months, 19 months, whatever. In that same time span, the rest of Major League Baseball has 3. So it's just kind of incredible. This golden era of baseball, as they've deemed it, as they've dubbed it, it's full of success in every way. Like, to your point, it's not just hitting, it's not just pitching. I mean, it's everywhere. And again, there's a lot to sink into from last night. This is like going to your favorite barbecue place, and it's like, oh, I want the ribs and I want some brisket.
Well, they needed it. Pork. They needed to eat. It didn't need to be the best barbecue. They're now 1-4. Espada definitely needed the win, and because you weren't sure if the Yankees were all that, if Soto was all that. Well, it turns out they're still pretty rolling. So the Astros got it. They're 1-4, and congratulations. Let's see if they can keep this thing rolling. But my attention will very quickly turn back to things that matter. Playoff style basketball and tournament stuff. So coming around the bend, we'll look. We haven't talked Cowboys yet, but we owe a little bit of attention. Nothing really happened on the Western Front yesterday, but we'll see about the rumors about Zeke and how close that's coming to fruition. We had a phenomenal night of ladies basketball. We'll look back on the college scene and look forward to the Final Four there in Phoenix. Oh, by the way, the Spurs are closing out their season minus 2 of their dudes. We're talking about that next. No Jeremy. No Devin, no problem. We're talking Denver next. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies.
Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines. Available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender bender-er, the got a ticket-er, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Power through your spring at Lowe's with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Buy one select string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on Carol. She's more focused on hitting a high note than the car in front of her. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets to bust wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game... Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They're up in Denver to take on the world champion Denver Nuggets, and they're going to do so shorthanded. No Devin Vassell or Jeremy Sohan. Both have been ruled out for the rest of the season. The Spurs will not have Keldon Johnson just tonight, though, for a second consecutive game. He's dealing with a foot sprain. In Major League Baseball, the Rangers rolled. They took down Tampa Bay, beating them 9-3. And the Astros, a no-hitter.
Brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be?
From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. There's a whole bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa, thoughtfully attired in a world champion t-shirt with a Stros jersey behind him. They threw a no-hitter 10-0. Welcome to the wins column for the Houston Astros. We'll look very closely at that. Man, oh man, did we have a night of hoops. We watched some fantastic basketball last night. The ladies brought it. Hey, I'll tell you what, Goldfinger. That would be worthy. There's better barbecue down there than I can make down at Poteet. RJ, how you feeling this fine Tuesday morning?
I am feeling eclectic and a plum and full of rigor. And ready for an amazing day.
Did you have your morning calisthenics? And
I did not. I don't believe in exercise.
Me either. The two guys that won't be exercising anytime soon with a Spurs uniform on will be Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell. We wave goodbye to them as they complete their 23-24 season. They're both hurt. Looks like there's a surgery in Jeremy Sohan's future. He's dealing with an ankle impingement. You're going to want to join us tomorrow. Dr. Jason Garrett will join us, and we will talk about the rehab process that will get Jeremy Sohan back on the court, first for the Polish national team and second for the San Antonio Spurs. Devin Vassell out action. I have those on the daily, but this is evidently in his foot. Mine's normally when I turn on the news. He's out for the rest of the season, too. That means they're going to be shorthanded through the week. They're going to be without Keldon tonight. He's also dealing with a footy. So it's Victor and the Wimbets tonight as they head up to Denver alone. I wonder if you're Pop, do you play Wimby tonight?
I think if I set the over-under at 2.5 more games left for Wemby. What are you taking?
I would say the under.
Right?
I see absolutely no reason for him to put on the uniform again until he comes home. Put it on at home. Let us see it one more time. But I get that there's people bought tickets that, in Denver they want to see Wemby. But he's been to Denver. You had your chance. For the good of my young kid as he prepares for France, I'm done. Let him go. The awards are secured. He's not going to be Defensive Player of the Year. That's going to go to Gobert. The argument, I think, is pretty solid that he's one of the top 5 defenders in all NBA first team type, and certainly Rookie of the Year, and we'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that some people care about the worst record or whatever.
I kind of do. I'm not going to lie.
Why?
Because it does matter. Man, you don't want to be the worst of all time in anything.
I guarantee you, your life will not. You will be sad for 5 minutes, and then you will get over it and never think about it ever again.
I agree. And it certainly makes for a good plot. I mean, you start from the bottom.
And saving you those 5 minutes is not worth the potential damage that playing Wemby or anybody else could ultimately cause for the future.
And that
this has sucked.
Yes.
You knew it was going to suck for a long time. So, if you're going to be like, I'm so mad that this sucks, then, you're kind of the fool.
So what do you do? So coming into the night, we know that Wemby could possibly, given a good performance against Jokic, knowing full well he'll be shorthanded. So the narrative is good. It's a worthy game because Denver's fighting for hold and completion of the Western Conference. So there's going to be some eyes on it. And you put Wemby out there, and he's moderately successful offensively, but remarkably successful defensively, getting more blocks and a couple of steals. It could catapult him into levels the likes of which, no one has ever done. But they're running out of time. And, the last thing we want to see on the other side of that coin is Wemby playing and the Spurs getting run out of the gym by 30, because then you defeat the argument for best defensive player. But, by that point, he would be alone.
I mean,
I'm with John. I don't think you want to be known as, literally, dude, you are the worst
no
team.
one is going to know that.
We've had some bad teams. We lined up at one point. We had a player missing part of his thumb.
We used to wear this little surgical thing. I mean, we were bad. We've been bad. ABA bad.
Look, I'm not saying that it is fun to have the worst record ever, but are you ever gonna? I mean, like, what is the? They are the worst team ever. The record isn't going to change that. You know what I'm saying? Like, struggling for 3 more wins down the stretch isn't going to, like, change everything about how we got here. You know what I mean? You're just having a problem coping with this.
You're right. It's lipstick on a pig. I try to find something to hold on to, but here we go. Because ideally in my world, and my world is small and weird. When we play our last, we're in Detroit, right? For the last game of the year.
No, it's at home.
Oh, it's home. Oh, even better. In my little weird world, we are at 1 game away. We are tied with a loss. We tie or are the worst, or we could win and be the next, not be the worst.
So you're saying the most drama is going into that with 19 wins.
With 19 wins, but I want to add some drama. I say we give this iteration of the Spurs the night off, and we call up Austin. What's the max number of Austin dudes we can bring in? Because see, the way I look at it, they got to use one of our team for a couple of games. Let's treat the Austin Spurs to a weekend down in San Antonio. We'll show them the river. We'll have a parade. We'll take them out. We'll do some fun stuff that our local guys never get. And really kind of treat them nice and say, in appreciation for all that, if you'll go win this game, you'll bail us out of a problem. Because one of the games that we lost up there. So you owe us one.
If you're so worried about the 20 wins or the worst record or whatever, then why would you want to bench and they already are benching everyone.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the difference if it's Dominic Barlow or City Sissoko?
I just think that you need to.
And you say that out loud fast.
You need to calm down a little bit and accept where we are and be excited about where we're going.
I think it would be a really cool thing for the JV. Just roll the JV out of the last varsity game. It doesn't matter.
Think
of the parents. You could fly them in. I met the Sissoko fam when we drafted them. They're good people. Let them see their boy in a uni and go get some buckets. Happy birthday, by the way, to City.
I just think that we've known what this season is for a very, very, very long time. So you want to play Austin? Great. You want to bring up whoever? You want to have Central Catholic go out and play the Pistons? I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like, wow. I'm trying to sim to the end. I'm trying to fast forward. Especially, I got one last scoop of ice cream last Friday night. We all did. It was a treat. You know what I'm saying? I'm satisfied with where we're at. There's nothing left to accomplish. Nothing.
No, there really isn't. Although we continue to grow. Yesterday, on the Hoop Collective, this socialist podcast put out by Brian Windhorse, he and his usual crew were talking about the Spurs. He talked about one thing that I think we should it's always been kind of the elephant in the room, and we've laughed about it before, that San Antonio, we're not a destination at all. We're not a place that people of millionaire status, especially if you're young and single, well, you want to come. Maybe, we certainly know how great it is, but we haven't been in a place to land free agents for a lot of reasons. First, there's a very specific type of player that functions well here. There's pop, good or bad. You have to accept some things when you come here. But we also kind of sold ourselves, we're not for everybody. We're an acquired taste. Brian Windhorse spent the weekend down here, evidently. Listen to him talk about his perception of what San Antonio is and what it was and what that's going to be to Wemby and the Spurs as they move forward and try to grow this superstar into a dominant regime.
Make fun of me all you want. I've lived in Miami. I've lived in New York City. I spend 50 days a year in Los Angeles. You can say whatever you want about what I'm about to say, okay? San Antonio is a growing city. Lots and lots of people have moved to San Antonio in the last 4 or 5 years. I drove from Austin to San Antonio the other day. There is no difference between the cities now are grown together. I-35, it is one giant megalopolis from Austin to San Antonio.
Megalopolis.
They are playing games in Austin now.
Yeah.
They have the #1 practice facility in the NBA. if you want to think of it as a cow town, like it was the turn of the century, fine. And is it New York or LA? Of course not. But there's a whole bunch of people moving to Texas, and they're moving to Texas for a lot of reasons. And there's a lot of people moving to San Antonio. So it ain't Cleveland. And I say that as somebody from Cleveland. Okay. So say whatever you want about nobody ever wanting to be in San Antonio. Go ahead and say it. I'm telling you, that's not necessarily true. It may be true for a lot of guys. Somebody is going to be like, you know what? That's not a bad place. They have a great practice facility. There's no state income tax, and I can play with Victor Wembanyama for the rest of my career and make a ton
Good
of money.
organization, right? Good organization.
Of course, that goes without saying.
Good tacos.
That's what I'm walking away. I'm leaving San Antonio now, but that's what I'm walking away saying.
That's
I think
Brian Windhorse.
Megalopolis,
Yeah, that's a good word too.
Well, I think that was one of the bad guys in Ninja Turtles fought once upon a time.
I'll tell you what, John Dyer, on the Brigade Bar, I think you're right. I was thinking the same thing. Boy, Wendy must have had a good time down here in San Antonio. John Dyer on the Brigade Bar says, got him some barbacoa and Big Red, and it changed his life. I think it did. Man, what a cheerleader for San Antonio. But I do think he's appropriately right. That the Spurs organization is considered gold standard. It will be until proven otherwise. Even though, despite the we're inside this bubble, we see some of the changes, but we know that the rest of the country, what they view of us. Anybody who's come to this area of the world knows that it ain't what it was. Now, I don't know about San Antonio in the turn of the century, which I hate referring to that. But when we first won the title, it wasn't a cow town, but it wasn't what it is now. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, okay, have you ever been on vacation to Kansas City?
I have
you
actually.
ever been,
I enjoy Kansas City, City of Fountains.
I'm not saying you've ever stayed there, but have you ever, like, as a family, been like, okay, let's plan our family
I
vacation
know.
this summer.
We're going
to Kansas City,
baby.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a destination, but it's developing into a sports mecca, right? Like we're seeing that happen, and that is the power and the impact and the influence of a generational player. And I'm not at all saying that Wemby is Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, Kansas City is in this stereotype worse off than San Antonio. And so you now offer San Antonio with, like, everything Wendy said is valid independent of Wemby. Like, just from a living standpoint, like a cultural standpoint. Now you factor in Wemby, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I really respect that Wendy. It's really difficult to delineate between Wendy and Wemby back and forth.
You're telling me.
Right. But I respect him for not sticking to the trope. It's like so often you see national media members, oh yeah, whatever. Then it's just, I forgot the Alamo. It's like, well, good for you, Wendy, for having a brain and having, a cognitive thought of your own merit and allowing yourself to be open to something. And good for you being objective enough to say it's better than Cleveland, when you have allegiances. And again, I think, I don't know Wendy's salary or anything like that, but I think your average NBA player is probably taking home more than he is. So living in Miami is probably a little bit different, for Trey Jones.
Wendy's a player, man.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying,
big pimping. He's moving. He's moving in a circle.
All I'm saying is, if you've got some NBA scratch, you can certainly see how living in Miami or whatever would be more conducive to the environment that is more accessible to you. And so maybe in that particular respect, San Antonio would not equate to Miami. But so few things. Again, list the 30 NBA cities. Yeah, or obviously there's not 30 cities, but list the 30 NBA destinations and tell me that there are 20 better than San Antonio. Tell me there are 10 that you can't.
There's not, for a lot of reasons, but I think more than the atmosphere, more than the taxes, more than the cost of living and the coach and the Wemby and all that, is now given social media that you're no longer on an island. You don't get sentenced to Milwaukee or Memphis or San Antonio, and nobody ever hears from you until April when the playoffs come around. You're no longer that. You are your own outlet, and you can create your own brand sitting in a forest in Nova Scotia. It doesn't matter anymore. So I think one of the primary barriers was taken care of whether San Antonio grew or not. But we happen to have grown along with that and provide a rather urban existence that a lot of people appreciate. And whether we're San Antonio or Austin, people who come down here start to realize there's not a whole lot of difference, but there's just a few more different types a little north and south, and the tacos are better down here. But the hill country feels the same whether you're looking, south at it or north at it. It is still the hill country. So I think that people get here and go, is this San Antonio or Austin? I can't tell the differences, with some of this stuff. And I think that's to the detriment to people like me, but to the benefit of people that are getting here.
Well, good for Wendy. Good for the Hoop Collective. What did you call it? A legalistic Society or what?
Well, it's a collective, a bunch of socialists sitting around spending other people's money.
Wow.
When I hear that, hey, we're going to get in depth at 9:30. Wendy and the collective had a lot to talk about with San Antonio and the expectations that are valid and those that are going to be inflated just because how well Wemby played. And there's some hard news regarding the current roster. The expectation from those on the outside is a lot of these guys we have now ain't going to be here when times get good. We're going to talk about that at 9:30. But coming back, the NFL is kind of on hold as, everything is kind of headed toward the draft. But there is some activity. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Zeke coming home. And did Kansas City bring in their own demise? Stop him before he kills again. Carson Wentz has a brand new home. We're talking NFL next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star. I want to talk to you real quick about Arasti. So many of my friends come to me and go, yeah, I hear you talking about Arasti, but is it good for me? And every time, invariably, it's yes, man. What are you waiting on? If you're limping around because you pulled something last weekend playing hoops, you can get that fixed faster than you can believe, better than you ever thought you could. And if you got lower back issues, man, it is worth a shot, especially if you've come to the end of the day and you just can't get over it. Man, I never thought I'd have a fix to my back issues. I thought it was just time. No. Arasti got me fixed and fixed fast. On average, they get you back in the game under 4 visits, and I fit that average perfectly. If you're dealing with pain, don't. They can fix you. There's Arasti providers all around town, and what I love about what they do is how they do it, because it's not about surgery or pills. It's about your body fixing itself, and we all appreciate that, and it happens quickly. They accept most insurances, and here's the best news. You don't even need a referral. So go ahead and write this number down and make the call. It's 1-800-404-6050. Their website is arasti.com. They got a map on their site of all the locales for all the providers. I guarantee you there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Call them today. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti's there to fix you. They'll get you fixed fast, too. Call them today, and I'm sure you'll be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, I hear there could be a reunion between Zeke Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys. And if there is that going to solve all their offensive problems?
Can you hear my eyes rolling? Maybe goal line, short yardage situations, but no, that's not the answer. But we'll talk about it. Plus, Spurs, they play the Nuggets tonight. We'll get you ready.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you're tired of achy joints, your joint pain keeping you from doing what you love, then you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your own body's power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call now to learn more about some exciting options in this revolutionary approach to get you long-term relief with no downtime. So what are you waiting for? Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. Our grip is always soft, it's our party vice. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Check out the 2024 Basketball Mayhem at sasportstar.com. Enter your best bracket for the chance to win an incredible $1 million. Sportstar.com.
Who wants to have some fun? Welcome back to the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. I know RJ likes having fun, like going to the Poteet Strawberry Festival. We're just a little over a week away, about 10 days from the Poteet Strawberry Festival, the ceremonial beginning to spring here in Central South Texas. If you want to go, get on the phone, 656-3776-656-ESPN. I got 4 GA tickets. Go any date, any time. Go have yourself some fun. Drink some cold beer or sweet tea and have yourself some strawberry shortcake. Some good chili. There's a place down there that does a good turkey leg too. Well, there's several that do turkey legs, but one in particular I can't wait to go. It's almost here, RJ. Almost. I can smell the strawberries from here. And sadly, I'm allergic and cannot eat one of them. It is a tough life to live, man. But we all have our crosses to bear, right?
Yeah.
Mine is the inability to eat strawberries and avocados.
You could never devour the strawberries, as Jason Garrett once urged.
Yes, him and his 7 almonds. The news out of the NFL yesterday, I guess. Let's do color number 4 to the 4-pack to go see Poteet's Strawberry Festival. Can't wait for that. Kansas City got themselves a backup quarterback of great renown. Got him a ring already. He was an MVP of sorts. A highly paid quarterback now just bouncing around. Carson Wentz is your new backup quarterback with Kansas City. I'm not surprised. I don't hate the guy, but remember when he was compared to Dak?
I remember when he was declared to be better than Dak.
Yes.
I mean, I really, for a long time, felt badly for Carson Wentz. And I'm not saying that his faults
He brought it on himself, man.
Well, hold up. I mean, it would be very difficult. There are very few sports cities in America now that are like starved. That if you could be that have the ability to have a first title delivered to them. And Philadelphia was kind of there. I recognize that wasn't totally true, but it certainly was true for the Eagles.
For football.
No, and
yes.
So to have been the first, the hero of delivering the first one.
How do you screw that up?
No, but he got hurt. What do you mean?
Well, they hate him now. He was arrogant. He was self-centered.
Again, the psychology behind what he went through, I think, is important to offer because he got Cyrano'd. He had to watch Nick Foles, live his dream.
Cyrano'd, that's true.
And that had to have been a really difficult emotional thing to go through. So I always felt for him, and then I felt for him that as he was kind of processing through that, they won the division in 2019, and he kind of led them to that and played through injuries and things like that. Then they drafted Jalen Hurts. And nobody knew that Jalen Hurts would be as great as he's been. But still, I felt for him. I think he was dealt poor psychological hands. And you're right. He didn't handle it
He did
well.
not.
And but those are difficult things to handle, is the grace I'm giving him. And so it's nice that he's been able to somewhat rehabilitate his career. He helped the Cowboys out technically last year with a win. And, Dallas blew that. But, I mean, whatever. I felt bad for him once upon a time. That's all I'm saying.
No movement on the Zeke front, though. It does feel like we're getting a little bit of a propaganda campaign.
Oh, dude. I mean, talk about Cyrano. Like, the Cowboys are the ones whispering, like, say he's really good. Say he's a good leader. Say he'll help in the locker room.
Well, it is true. That is not a fallacy to say we're bringing him in for more than just what he brings onto the field. Because if you bring him in for what he brings on the field, you ain't bringing him in for much. Because, I will be the first to agree with you that he is obviously landing on the airstrip at the end of his career. He's already on the ground coasting into the hangar. We know it's over, but we also know what he's capable of, and we know exactly what his limitations are. I don't think this is the worst possible of things that could have happened over the week. But it's certainly not the best either. And as we put in our notes, still nothing.
I mean, it's been almost a month since free agency began in earnest. And the Cowboys have one external free agent signing. And that one was a dude who agreed to terms with somebody else first. I mean, it is the truest, most literal definition of doing nothing. They are the George Costanza of NFL teams. It's sad. That's where we're at.
Well, you call it sad. I don't think it's sad, and I don't think it's indifference. I think it's bargain shopping due to the situation that they've found themselves. So at what moment can they do anything to right the ship between now and the draft for you? Is there anything possible where you go, okay, now I get the plan, or at least whatever plan there was, they're altering it? Or have they gone down the river so far, there's just no coming back because there's nothing left to fix?
Yeah, I mean, they can't do anything between now and the draft because, I mean, the time has been spent. And so that's just the reality of life now. I mean, the time to study for the test was last night and the last week or the last 2 weeks or whatever. They're on the bus to campus right now. You know what I'm saying? The test is in 30 minutes. And so, they're either going to luck into acing it or they're going to be completely and totally screwed and fail the class and have to pay to take it over again. But it's just money, so whatever. It's not even theirs. It's their parents' money. They're a trust fund kid. You know what I mean? Like, all is well. And so they're stuck. They're screwed. I mean, they made this bed and they're like, God, there's crumbs in here. You know what I mean? They're like, it's wrinkled. The sheets are old. This sucks.
I'm looking at a.
Oh, you did some Googling?
No, well, somebody else did it for me. I'll be honest. Ranking the NFL's most productive 2023 rookie draft classes from 1 to 32.
Oh, they are like 31, maybe the
24th.
Dude, maybe. I mean, and
total
that's
rookie,
only if you include Brandon Aubrey, who was an undrafted free agent.
Well, they don't even. That's not even included. I don't think. Total rookie snaps 1,407. Notable rookies: Luke Schoonmaker, 43.6 receiving grade, 0.58 yards per route run. That's a deep dive into a stat. Defensive lineman Mozzie Smith, a 70 pass rush grade, a 5.8% pressure rate. And the Cowboys will tell you, well, that's not what he's here for. But the Cowboys ranked 24th in rookie usage rate. That's the expert drafters we're hoping to right the ship and correct the wrongs that have been done in the past. It didn't go very well, and the numbers are starting to show out that being built, not bought, is not the way to go, at least with the Cowboys. Not recently.
It's not the way to go, even if like you can build and buy, but it's particularly not the way to go if what you're building is poor. And, people focus on just last year's draft class when they're talking about demerits against them. But 2 years ago, I mean, their 2022 class.
It's not awful. That's the problem with all things Cowboys. It's never awful. It's always just good enough.
Yeah, like it looks better than it really is because Tyler Smith has turned into, like an all-pro type of player. So, okay, great. You have Tyler Smith. But what did you do after that? Tyler Smith is awesome. Sam Williams, you can't trust whatsoever.
not
And you
at all.
spent a second-round pick on him. Jalen Tolbert, you can't trust to be
Maybe
your
we'll
third
see.
wide receiver.
We'll see. Jury's out.
But okay, but he's a third-year,
I know.
third-round pick.
I'm hoping
By
deadlines
now
make
he
deals
has-
on this one.
Yeah, but by now he has to be a significant contributor, and he's not. Jake Ferguson is awesome. All right, there's no question
Well
about that. Matt Willetsko hasn't even really played. That was actually the 5th-round pick they got from Amari Cooper. Deron Bland, you got incredibly lucky with, and obviously he's been amazing. Damone Clark, fine. John Ridgway, not even on your team. Devin Harper, not a factor. So this idea that they draft really, 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 really well, we're talking about 3 players that are really significant from that class. And
you can
two
include
of them
Aubrey in
weren't-
that. You can include him. I mean,
No,
you
no,
have to.
Aubrey was last year. I'm talking 2022.
Oh, okay.
So of this class, again, which is just 2 years ago, you have 3 significant contributors, and that sounds great because you would think like, oh, well, our top 100 picks. 2 of your top 100 picks are not significant contributors, and you can't even trust them, and you might have to draft to replace them because of where you're at. So you miss me with this like, oh, they draft really, really, really well stuff. Like that's not true at all. And even if you go back 1 year prior, just quickly, Micah Parsons, amazing. Kelvin Joseph, your 2nd-round pick, 44th overall, not even on the team anymore. Like, just that's so sad. Osa Odigizua, been really good. Respect. Chauncey Golston, whiff. Nashawn Wright, whiff. Jabril Cox, whiff. Josh Ball, whiff. Simi Fehoko, whiff. Quentin Bohanna, whiff. Israel Mukwamu, he's okay. Matt Farniok, okay. So you're talking about you have 2 legit players. The Cowboys had, Rob, 5 picks in the top 100 in 2021, and they got 2 legit players. One of them is amazing, and Micah Parsons, to be very fair. But even then, the evaluation of Micah was as an off-ball linebacker, so they kind of stumbled into the particular level of amazingness that he's provided.
I'm gonna go on net on all these, like the Aubrey, the Micah, I'll go on net. I will give them the genius that you have to
I'm not
apply.
giving
I will give
genius for
RC Buford the genius of finding Manu. I'll give him that. Whether you fell ass backwards into it or whatever the case, you did go get him. So I will give him the credit, whether it was accidental or not. They did call their name and they did put him on the roster, whether it was late or early. Not what we can say about the Spurs in the most recent drafting, and we'll talk about the future of the Spurs a little after 9:30. As we look at where they're going, Wemby might be alone in this quest to remain the next to worst or the worst team in Spurs history. But coming back, we have reached the Final Four on both sides of the NCAA basketball world. We'll talk about what we saw last night. Bask in the glow of greatness. The beginning of something extraordinary in the women's basketball world started earlier, and it's continuing. The golden age is upon us. And on the men's side, the battle royale begins, and we're going to look at the teams that are getting there and compare and contrast the alumni. Who wins the alumni battle on top of the board work? Basketball, come and hang around with us. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Connecticut has been my water softener through a couple of homes. Connecticut has been part of the lexicon around my household for a long time because they've been taking care of us for a long time. I've got a Connecticut, and I wake up every day knowing full well I'm never going to have another one. This is the last one I'm ever going to own because I've never had a problem. If you're sitting in San Antonio or South Texas without a Connecticut, you can upgrade right now. And if you don't have one, my goodness, you better do something. Those pipes are clogging up. Well, that aquifer underneath us brings us some good water, makes some good light beer and sweet tea. It leaves some stuff in your pipes. You can feel it on your skin. You can see it on your plates when you pull it out of your dishwasher and your hair is all dry. You can fix that with one call. 656-PURE. Connecticut will come out and put a water softener in your house, the likes of which will make it a home. It's a Connecticut. It's going to last a long time and a warranty to back it up. And they're going to give you 90 days to find out for yourself. Unprecedented. Call them today at 656-PURE. You need more details? You better go to ConnecticutSA.com. They got all the deets you need. But just remember the number. Give them a call today. The Connecticut's will come out with a Connecticut, put it in your home, and you're going to be like us, a Connecticut customer for life. Call them today and thank me later.
Nothing beats March Madness. The pure sound of a swish, the rattle of a slam dunk, the fans on their feet for the big moments. And the action just keeps getting better until a national champion is crowned. Hear all the action with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's and women's tournaments right here
on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and San Antonio's ESPN 1250.
A car is never just a car. Kelley Blue Book knows it's so much more than that.
It's your commuting chariot, your road trip refuge, your I just need a reason to get out of the house. Your car is there for everything. And for everything car, there's Kelley Blue Book. Need a new set of wheels? Price it on Kelley Blue Book. Problem under the hood? Fix it with Kelley Blue Book. Can another car do the job better? Trade it or sell it on Kelley Blue Book. We're here mile after mile, moment after moment. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it. KBB.com it. Visit KelleyBlueBook.com to get the journey started.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
San Antonio, get ready for CarFest, April 5th through the 7th at the Freeman Expo Hall. Enjoy a car show, driver workshops, entertainment, plus the chance to win a free car. And the best part, admission is free. Learn more at carfestsa.org.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open with a true Vegas feel. The Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online.
Yeah!
Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Progressive asks, what do a slow Friday night, bored teenage boys,
I'm bored.
a pack of fireworks,
This is gonna be awesome.
and a teetering branch suspended over your car have in common?
Look out!
They can quickly wreak havoc on your slow Friday night.
Uh-oh.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, Zeke Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys reunited once again. Could that happen? And if it does that solve all the Cowboys' offensive problems? We'll talk about that. Plus, the Spurs taking on the defending champion Denver Nuggets tonight. We'll get you set for that as well. Rob, RJ. Man, it's good to be back in the studio. Kind of.
It was mighty clean in here. I guess James came in here and hosed it off, fumigated the place as the Blitz returned from Las Vegas. This place didn't smell like a leftover napkin from the night before. He's RJ Ochoa. He's not that. Neither am I. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're basking in the glow of greatness today. I love waking up post historic evenings. And I felt like last night, well, there's been lots of women's games. We still got Final Four and championship game in front of us. We got everything that we hoped to get last night in two games. We opened up with the
the rematch from last year's tournaments, LSU and all that they are. The number, what were they, 3 or 4 seed? And the, I guess 4. And the Iowa Hawkeyes led by Caitlin Clark and a variety of sharpshooters. And we got 2 quarters, because that's what the ladies play, of phenomenal punch for punch, great basketball. In the second half was Caitlin's to take, and she was just spectacular throughout the night. Woman met moment and made all kinds of history, all kinds of records fell last night, but just a perfect moment for all of those that were excited for a perfect moment. We got it.
Would you say this was Godzilla versus Kong, or whatever that movie is?
Well, Kong, I think no, I think Godzilla and Kong, but awaiting this weekend is South Carolina, and they're the Death Star. I mean, there is a bigger foe waiting around the corner, and that's what I think is so incredible about where we sit. Because as much as we were happy about the Blue Bloods arriving in Phoenix for the men's Final Four, we got that in the ladies and then some. Because not only did we get the teams, we got the ladies too.
Yeah, we got the Blue Bloods and the top dogs.
Yes, we got everybody, everything.
It's a shame that LSU had to get bounced right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I'm being really picky, I don't want to pick on, NC State, but it would have been cooler to get the Iowa LSU, game in the semifinal. But I mean,
and Texas,
whatever.
Gonna be,
Right, that's true. But I mean, I'm never rooting for Texas in any capacity. Yeah. So, I'll just ask you the question. You've watched a lot of basketball, not just this year, but throughout your life.
Uh-huh.
Is this the best run of college basketball, men's and women's, the whole game you've ever seen?
Well, I've never paid. I'll be honest. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the ladies' Final Four. I mean, it's something that's been on the sidebar. And as an Aggie, I celebrate a national championship, and it's something that's been on the radar for me forever. And I'm always watching the championship game. Heck, who doesn't? If you're a basketball fan, but I've never filled out a bracket until last year. So to go from my first bracket last year to this year being, wow, I legitimately have on a Saturday afternoon 4 games, 5 games, 6 games of championship caliber basketball, and you've got to decide which one takes precedence. I've never had to worry about that before, and that's as we like to say around here, an RPP. That's a rich people problem. We have gotten to the best of times. I hope we realize it, because as good as Caitlin was last night, as she became the first player in NCAA tournament history with 3 career 40-point games, and she was hitting logo threes from the get-go. What impressed me more than anything else, and what is going to be overlooked, is she has 140 career assists in the tournament now. She passed Tamika Johnson at 136. She's going to add to that a record that's going to take decades to break for the most in NCAA tournament history. She keeps adding on 70 career 3-point field goals in the tournament. She passed Diana T. She's taken over for the GOAT for the most in NCAA tournament history. 9 3-point field goals, tied the NCAA tournament single game record. And I could keep going. It was as dominating and spectacular as we wanted it to be. And it still felt like she's still an Iowa Hawkeye. I mean, it's not just Caitlin and the Caitlinettes. She was responsible for 71% of the points by either passing or scoring, but she's not solely alone, but she is singular in her efforts. The comparisons escape me other than those on Mount Rushmore. I mean, it was all that. And I think to a lot of people, RJ, I hope they continue with it. I hope they stay tuned and don't look at last night, the LSU Iowa game, as the national championship, but it certainly felt like that.
I don't know how you could, because this Iowa UConn game on Friday is going to be theater in every way, sense, and shape. It is kind of stupid that they have to play again on Friday after playing on Monday.
Got to make room, baby. Plenty of time. It's basketball.
I mean, still, again, just semantics, whatever. I did want to ask you about your bracket, your women's bracket, because I'm not trying to brag, but I have 75% of the final.
Me too.
So the only one, obviously, I didn't foresee was North Carolina State.
But that was a short 3-point line, so
I mean, this is Friday night at 8:00. This Iowa UConn game, and obviously Iowa LSU was big because of last year. right?
Right.
There's no doubt about that. But you've got Kalen, you've got Paige, you've got Gino, you've got the rest of the Hawkeyes. I mean, I don't know. It's almost bigger than the Iowa LSU game without the. I don't even want to call it bad blood, but like the Kim Mulkey stuff obviously was a bit of a factor, but and especially in this moment with the hit piece or whatever. But it doesn't get bigger. I mean, it really, really, really doesn't.
Well, it's funny how you mentioned all the stars, and we didn't even bring up the best team in the country.
Well, North Carolina State's got their hands full, to say the least.
South Carolina and Don Staley, she has put together a juggernaut. Think about what she lost last year, and they're back and undefeated. It is as good as we could have hoped. Let's hope it continues. And on the men's side, when you look at where UConn has come from and where they're going, it feels odds on, right? And right about now, as odds on as it feels, Zach Edey has stolen the show. And then there's the DJ Burns story. Have you seen all the talk about the NFL?
I think this is a little silly.
It aggravates me to no end.
Just maybe let him continue to be an awesome basketball player.
Right.
Why do we have to? I understand the NFL is king, but why can't we just talk about him as a basketball player? I mean, why is that so difficult?
You can't help but say tight end or.
No, I don't know that anyone's saying tight end. I think everyone's saying left tackle.
Left tackle. But there's a lot of reasons why guys play basketball, and one of them is they don't want to get hit like they did in football. What's that meme? The Oklahoma drill's made more basketball players than any other drill.
Yeah. I have decided that Danny Hurley is the new face of college basketball. In an era where we are seeing the college, I wouldn't even say basketball, but college sports coaches, and I'm talking about the men's side of things here, but where we're seeing college coaches, the legends leave. Right now we're into football, Nick Saban, whatever. Danny Hurley has a chance to really, and some of it is that he's prickly, and there's a lot of people that don't like him. Like you got to kind of be that way, like Nick or Dabo or Jimbo or whoever. He's got a chance, man, and they go back to back. I mean, he is the face of men's college basketball. There's no question about it.
He's kind of an heir apparent because his father was such a legendary high school coach at St. Anthony's in New Jersey. And he is the John Calipari of high school basketball. I mean, Kyrie made the trek to play in Jersey with the St. Anthony's teams. And the pros that have gone through there with him, being the father to Bobby, that was the point guard at Duke who went on to success in the NBA. And Danny, who continues to, at Arizona State. He was at Buffalo and won there, then Arizona State, and now on to UConn. It is a natural progression to who should be the mantle carrier for the next generation as we say goodbye. I agree with you wholeheartedly that he becomes that young coach that's taking over. He, along with, Shire at Duke and Nate Oates there in Bama, who has a shared kind of history with some intermingled coaching together with Bobby Hurley or Danny Hurley. This is also an appropriate time to say hello to these new coaches that are taking over as we wave goodbye to those standbys. Izzo's not long for it. And, we said goodbye to Boeheim in the offseason last. So I agree with you. And I think he's a perfect guy. I don't think he's as prickly as he comes across. Certainly not as much as his dad. He's quirky and he runs a championship caliber thing. I think he's as close to Nick Saban as you can be without being Nick Saban.
When I say prickly, I don't mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. And you're right.
I'm actually the best word's probably annoying. Like I think if you're not a fan of his, you probably find him to be annoying. And I cannot believe that I'm about to say this as a compliment. I never would have thought that I ever would have gotten to this place. You know who he's got that same quality as? Nick Sirianni. Like if Nick Sirianni's your guy, you know what I mean? Like it's awesome. But if he's not, you just hate him with everything. And and I said this during the Eagles run in 2022. When it is your world, you can talk whatever you want. I'm a very firm believer in when you win, you have every right to talk all the trash in the world that you want because you won.
Right.
And Nick Sirianni personified that. In a weird way, I kind of respect that. But you have to bite your tongue when you lose. And Nick Sirianni's, kind of learned the other end of that coin. And, Danny Hurley is Mr. Like, we beat the crap out of you and we're going to talk about it. And and what I love about it is he weaponizes it. He uses it as a recruiting method. I mean, like he is awesome. I'm a fan of it in a way that I wasn't a fan, and obviously I'm directly impacted here, but of Nick Sirianni.
The matchups are spectacular, but the expectation is we're going to see a UConn-Purdue game next Monday night and a championship game. Zach Edey can clinch this season's Division I scoring title by scoring 11 total points over the next two games, assuming Mark Sears doesn't set every tournament scoring record under the sun over the next week. Edey will be the fourth D1 season scoring champion to play in the Final Four. He's joining the likes of Oscar Robertson, Clyde Lavalette way back when, Oscar Robertson as well in that grouping. So Zach Edey is probably the biggest winner on the NBA side of things, while DJ has been the biggest PR winner on the thing. And Alabama, watch this team. Watch Nate Oates' team. Watch this team. They're the low seed, and no one is paying any attention to a team that locks down on defense and has got as good a point guard as there is in this game, in this thing. That's that one team that scares me. The one game that bothers me.
I'm not worried. I trust Danny. I trust this process.
UConn is the 8th reigning champion to reach the Final Four since the field expanded to 85. That's a thing of the past anymore. It just doesn't happen very much because the transfer portal is you can suddenly get old fast and you can get young fast when the portal hits. And we saw that happen again this year. Alabama will be looking to become the first team to win a title in its first Final Four appearance. UConn in 99. Before the Huskies, the last team to do that was UTEP, then known as Texas Western. I'm just I think we should compare and contrast tomorrow the fandom, because last year, or the alumni. Who's the most famous alumni you can think of that came out of, let's just go Alabama, other than a football or a basketball player?
The last famous alumni to come out of Alabama?
I don't know. I'm just throwing, do we know?
No, I'm asking what the question is.
Who's the most famous non-athlete you can think of Alabama?
Non-athlete?
See, if I Googled famous Alabama grads, who do you think would be one that came up?
How
about Courtney Cox? That's a pretty good throw out.
Courtney Cox graduated from she's a member of the Crimson Tide?
Well, she's from Alabama.
Oh.
It didn't Google famous enough. It just went famous people. I didn't get Alabama grads in there.
I can name the most famous non-football player.
Okay, I have
and basketball player.
I want you to Google right now. We got a couple minutes. Pick a roster, because I have mine for Alabama. I want you to Google. Let's Google Purdue. Famous Purdue grad, and I want you to compare my pick versus your pick. This will be a celebrity death match because I have mine already, and I'm pretty comfortable with my choice.
All time,
non-athlete, graduate of Purdue.
Mine is awesome. So you're stuck.
From Purdue? I offer you Red Rover sends over Jim Neighbors. Gomer Pyle takes on
the most famous Purdue grad that is not an athlete, Neil Armstrong. Beat that Rock.
Gomer Pyle takes him down. The former Marine.
No way, dude.
Are you kidding
Neil Armstrong
me?
was the first man on the moon. What are you talking about?
Well, golly. He lived in
international-
Mayberry. I think Gomer Pyle trumps Neil Armstrong.
Intergalactical presence here.
In this day and age, I think Gomer Pyle, the grunt Marine, takes down the flyboy.
I looked up UConn while we're here. Meg Ryan is listed as number 1 here. So
that's worth
good for her. And let's go North Carolina State. And
it's a little bereft.
Former White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs is listed as number 1. Jada Pinkett Smith. How about that?
Sheila Ward.
Zach Galifianakis went to North Carolina State.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew Zach Galifianakis. He's a North Carolina type. Hey, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will continue our celebrity death match. I will see your. What was her name? Who was the actress?
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. UConn. And I will raise you a Mel Allen.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. He's actually, he is a world-class, legendary play-by-play guy back in the day when there was only radio. He is RJ Ochoa. He does far more than radio. He is the Blogging the Boys managing editor. I am Rob Thompson. He, on the other side of the double pane, is Edwin Hefner. We promised to come back and offer you 1 full hour of consistent great radio. We're going to look at the Spurs as they head to Denver minus 3 starters. What do you do with a Wemby when nobody else comes to play? How do they close out the season? We're looking at that directly. Hold on tight. This is San Antonio Sports Star, and you're on 94.1 FM. I want to talk to you real quick about BetUS. BetUS.com has been my book for a long time. It's the only book I have ever endorsed here at San Antonio Sports Star. And right now, there's a deal that has been made available that I've never seen before. Your first 3 deposits will be matched by BetUS.com with 125%. You put in 100, they give you 125 to go play with, and they'll do that 3 straight times. You also have 10% gambler's insurance, which is a great deal as you come into March Madness. If your brackets are broken, the individual games ain't. Go use the info they've got and go make your plays today. BetUS.com, they're waiting on you, and they want to give you a gift. They've also got casino action while you're there. Go check it out. You get the live games, the teases, everything you want for your book, but also you got the casino action too. That's why there is no place like BetUS.com. Call them at 1-800-MY-BETUS. Type it, BetUS.com. Either way, go there today. Take advantage of the free money. And thank me later.
This is the Morning Huddle with Robin RJ.
Okay, Camper, rise and shine.
Morning 6 to 10, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Thursday, April 18th at the beautiful Security Service Event Center. This elevated fiesta event for foodies includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, unlimited tastings from over 30 premier restaurants, countless curated wines and craft beers, hosted by Brighton Center, presented by HEB. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hard work, dedication,
and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because some key info is pre-filled for you so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help because you're going places. Let's go. And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Houston Astros got their first win of the year in an impressive outing against the Toronto Blue Jays. 10-0 in the series opener. Ronel Blanco threw a complete game no-hitter. Texas Rangers rolled in their series opener against Tampa Bay, beating them 9-3. Spurs get busy against the Denver Nuggets tonight, -3 starters.
Wembanyama three, good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. I've been sitting in this chair a long time today. My knees are sore. And on the other side of the double pane, and he took it off. Easy E, he had a Longhorn shirt on of burnt orange quality.
I'm proud.
We're glad you're with us this morning on a post-glow day. We got a lot to get into. The Spurs, we're going to talk in about 20 minutes. 30 minutes, just after 9:30. About as close as I can get. We're going to talk a lot about the Spurs' future. As it appears, this season is about to wind down. They're going to finish out the year without Jeremy and Devin. If you haven't heard, Jeremy Sohan has an ankle impingement, and Devin Vassell has a stress reaction. That will shelve them for the rest of the year. We'll talk about that at 9:30. Brian Windhorse, Windy to you and me, has this show called The Collective, this socialist basketball story. They were talking about the Spurs yesterday. You're going to want to hear what he has to say about San Antonio. I was shocked and not saddened, actually quite surprised with what he had to say. You're certainly going to hear that. We talked a little bit about it. I don't want to end the day without focusing a little bit on the Dallas Cowboys. And real quickly, no news is good news with the Zeke Elliott, or are the Cowboys negotiating down to the very bottom, or are they waiting to see what the fan reaction is? What do you think the holdup is?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I saw a commercial recently for the crispy chicken taco from Taco Bell, and I'm curious what it's like. So if somebody could let me know if they've had it, I just want some
They
feedback.
do look good, I will admit.
They look great. Maybe I'm really hungry, but they look incredible. So just curious for that. Here's my, can you pretend to put a tinfoil hat on? I don't need a full hat, but maybe like a sailor's hat. You know what I mean? Like kind of like off to the side, like your Popeye type thing.
I've got it. Jauntily to the side. It's on the inside.
Thank you very much. A lot of people think that the Cowboys are going to draft a running back. Right? A lot of people are saying that, they're going to draft Jonathan Brooks, speaking of horrible sweatshirts. In fact, this morning, ESPN released their top draft needs. This big article for every single team. And they had a prospect to fill a need outside of round one. And Matt Miller listed Jonathan Brooks for the Dallas Cowboys. Feels like low-hanging fruit, right?
I like
They need a running back, whatever. Jonathan Brooks, he's classic injured player, second-round pick, University of Texas, blah, blah. The last time the Cowboys went into a season where they very, very, very obviously needed to address the running back position in the NFL draft, they did nothing. It was 2015. DeMarco Murray had walked, and a lot of people thought, okay, you can't go at this with just Joseph Randle and Darren McFadden. Randle was a third-year, fifth-round pick, and McFadden had been a free agency signing. So everybody was like, they're definitely going to draft Duke Johnson or Tevin Coleman. These were these big names now 9 years ago. And they didn't draft a single one. And they went at it with Joseph Randle, and he was really good until
the
things were not
Johnny
good.
Law.
Right. And Christian Michael at a moment, but then Darren McFadden kind of took over and had 1,000 yards. So my tinfoil Popeyes hat to the side tilted sort of theory here is everyone thinks they're going to draft a running back, and they're not. And we're going to get through round 2, and they're going to make their pick, and it's not going to be Jonathan Brooks. And all the analysts on TV are going to be like, wow, I really thought this would have been Jonathan Brooks. And then Jonathan Brooks is going to go to like the Broncos or something, and we're going to be all whatever. And then the 3rd round pick is going to come around. No running back, no running back, no running back. What are they doing? They can't just do this. Tony Parr left in free agency. They brought back Rico Dowdle. Bam. Monday after the draft, here comes Zeke to save the day. That's my theory.
So you think they're going to hold off for a minute, and it'll be after the draft before anything is done with Zeke, which tells me nobody else is coming knocking on his door.
Right.
There's no reason to jack it up. Before we head into a little bit of NCAA basketball talk, did you see the video of the wide receiver there for the Chiefs? What's his name? Rishi Rice?
I didn't see the video. You're talking about the
cow.
crash?
Yeah, it was in Dallas. This dude's in trouble. I'm glad he retained counsel. There was a wreck. There's video of them fleeing the scene. There's a really nice looking Ferrari and Corvette involved. Everybody ran. It's a mess. What is up with Kansas City and cars? You guys are going to just have to buy an Uber franchise or something and just drive your dudes around. That's another dude in trouble.
It's tough. I mean, it's dangerous, and I don't know why anybody would drive and behave so recklessly. But
on the heels with the Vontae Davis news, that's just terrible.
Oh man, that was so horrible. I haven't seen any report on any. I know the initial report was that there was no foul play suspected by the local authorities, but I mean, he's 35 years old. It's just
a young man, played with
horrible.
the Bills, Chargers down in Broward County, down there in South Florida. They was found unresponsive, and sad news. Just you hate to see that. I hope it was. Well, I don't know what it could have possibly have been, but that's such is life in the modern NFL. Hey, coming back, let's look at the NCAA tournament for what it was and what it's going to offer. It could be the very best weekend of college basketball that we will experience in quite some time. Are we in the golden age of the ladies, or is it only going to get better? We're talking about that. And man, that Final Four, Zach Edey versus the Klingon. Lots to talk about. And then we're looking at the Spurs and the situation they find coming into the summer. Hang around. We got a lot to do. This will be fun. You're on 94.1, and this is San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, I hear there could be a reunion between Zeke Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys. And if there is that going to solve all their offensive problems?
Can you hear my eyes rolling? Maybe goal line, short yardage situations, but no, that's not the answer. But we'll talk about it. Plus, Spurs, they play the Nuggets tonight. We'll get you ready.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. You stop running because your feet always hurt. That's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through April 23rd, get a $15 gift card when you buy 5 or more quarts of Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Spurs Nuggets, they play tonight. We'll get you ready. Plus the Zeke rumors about him maybe coming back to the Dallas Cowboys. And could that help solve Cowboys' offensive issues? RJ, are your eyes rolling?
All right, then. Thank you, Jason. Jason and Joe get here about 2 o'clock exactly for the Blitz. Make sure you're here on time and logged in appropriately so you can watch them live. Make sure you're doing the same with us. Get to your device, go to your YouTube feed. Make sure you are tuned in appropriately to the Morning Huddle and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star and liking and sharing as much as possible. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We're going to talk some Spurs of silver and black here in just a couple minutes. But first, college basketball front and center. Even more than that, for those of you who are really into the hoops, you might have noticed last night on one of the other ESPN channels, if you had a moment, McDonald's All-American games going on this week, and they'll be playing here, I believe, tonight, tomorrow. Couple teams with a couple guys with Texas ties. The Texas signing is point guard coming. Liam McNeely, a guy that led John Paul II to a TAPS title last year, leading Montverde as a McDonald's All-American. So a Texas kid there. That's the future crop. This year's NBA draft is pretty shallow. Edwin, you were telling me that they're Jeff
Goodman.
Jeff Goodman, who I respect as a talent evaluator there with ESPN, has said, tweeted out that in talking with a couple of general managers around the NBA, that this is not just a bad NBA draft, it might be the worst in history.
Awesome.
So as
we
the
sucked all year.
Spurs sit at number 4, maybe we're paying a little bit closer attention to the future. Cooper Flagg being really the primary dude coming out. He signed with Duke, and he'll be a surefire. If he's not the number 1 overall pick next year, it'll be because I can't imagine somebody really jumped up. He appears to be the odds on. So if you're curious, if you're seeing something that maybe the Spurs are angling for and future draft, it might be this kid Flagg, especially if your outlook for the Spurs is one of immediate playoffs. And we're going to talk about if that's going to happen here in just a couple of minutes.
I do want to shout out Greg Castanuela, who hit me up on Twitter and said crispy chicken taco was good. I would order again with some picante sauce.
They're trying to upmarket us. They're trying to make it all fancy.
I just want to say, that's what we should aspire to be, people helping people. And so shout out to Greg for helping me.
On the heels of what we were just talking about with the draft and the Spurs and growing the team, we're going to get into it here in just a couple seconds as we talk Silver and Black. In my mind, the most compelling figure coming out of the draft isn't DJ Burns, though he is the most interesting. To me, the most compelling figure coming out of the men's side is Zach Edey, because he is such a throwback in a modern era. It is back to the big behemoth down low, and the way he has dominated this tournament. Just single-hand. He took down Utah State in a half with a triple-double, or just about that. And did you see what he did to Tennessee? We don't see this kind of big man play anymore, not since Shaq, really. And nobody has helped their draft status more than Zach Edey. And in a draft that has, by at least one pundit, the worst in history, it's a crapshoot. Where number 4 could be the same as 25. It is truly the eye of the beholder on this one. Isn't Zach Edey a worthy chase? I think that might be worth talking about it for the Spurs. But as far as this weekend, the matchup of bigs, yeah.
Well, Zach and DJ. What? Again,
well, don't forget Klingon with Utah. With UConn, who seems to have played his way up. We're talking about.
But you brought up the matchup. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Klingon's on the other side, and so, his nickname, right? By the way, on the Kling Kong.
Kling Kong, which is so anti. That's not really his game.
I know, but if there was ever a time, I remember when I was growing up, and you would watch the national championship, and then that dude wouldn't, the star quarterback, whatever, wouldn't even get drafted, and you would just be all, how is this possible? You in your own head, trying to contextualize it as a kid, you would say isn't this the best player? Isn't this the best team? Wouldn't this guy be really good and really valued? So this isn't necessarily that, but in a shallow draft, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? At this moment in time, especially if the Raptors pick ends up working out or something like that, you want to throw some spaghetti at a wall? Now's the kind of time to do so.
Would you be, would Spurs fan, not you in particular, but I wonder if Spurs fan would be comfortable with taking a guy that, quite frankly, isn't a high-end pick by most measures, but at least wasn't up until what we're seeing. And what I witnessed against Tennessee reminded me more of Yao Ming than anybody I've seen since Yao Ming. That no matter how big you think you are, you ain't big enough for Zach Edey. No matter that Abdu kid from Tennessee is a cut out of granite, and he wasn't big enough. And as much as Wemby's going to grow into his frame, there's a bunch of baby fat on Zach Edey. That guy is not, he's still a kid too. Now he's an older kid, but there's still more to come with this guy. I think nobody has helped himself more. And I believe he's going to show it against North Carolina State on Saturday, about 5:15. Tip will be about 5:09. About 5:15, Zach Edey is going to catch the ball in the paint, and DJ is going to be accustomed to using his refrigerator size to stopping a guy like that, and Edey is going to step right through him. And he's going to throw up that sky hook, and it's going to be a long night for North Carolina State.
I hope that North Carolina State's enjoying the week. I hope they enjoy the flight over. You know what I mean? I hope that they enjoy the press conferences and the swag bags and things like that because yeah, they're running into, you know, this is this is a big tree. You know what I mean? That they're trying to climb, and I don't think they can. I mean, because of Zach Edey's imposing threat and force. I mean, you just can't. They don't have the horses to run with him right now. I mean, I would love to believe that to not be true because the story's been so much fun. But I mean, in your heart of hearts, do you think that North Carolina State has a fighter's chance?
No, I don't. I think that they have played. They are so good because of what DJ allows them to be, and I think he is going to be in foul trouble early. I don't think he's going to be able to handle this. And as funny as he is to watch, he is a limited performer. I mean, there's a lot of minutes he's watching, but just because he's so big and out of shape. And I think that leaning on an Edey like that, it's going to put them in foul trouble early. Zach Edey has 926 points, 452 rebounds this season. He's the first player in Division I to record 904.50 since Larry Bird in 78 and 79. I know he doesn't fit the modern NBA. He doesn't look like the guy that could be successful. But in my mind, and I'll put it out there, as the Spurs are looking to find a way to improve, and this draft isn't thick and there isn't much there, I'd entertain moving down. That Toronto pick's coming next year. I don't know what you're going to see there. There's a lot of guards out there. But when I look at what he can offer on the boards and freeing what Wemby is wanting to be, that is something that I find very appealing. And I think the next couple of games, whether they win the title or not, could kind of prove to a lot of people that I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy to say Edey might be a top 10 pick just because what we've seen Wemby was capable of doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always thought that Johnny Manziel had the perfect entrance into the NFL and that Russell Wilson had kind of just shown that a shorter quarterback can do it. And not that Edey is Wemby, but it is very possible that he's opened the door of conversation given the size of it all.
Well, he'll get a matchup of bigs, and then the winner of that gets another one as the UConn looks to roll past Alabama and the upstart Nate Oates squad. And Klingon is another guy that I find interesting, though. I think he's just a little bit too close to the way that Wemby plays. I would prefer the space heater that Zach is. What do you guys think? We're going to talk some silver and black on the other side and look at what Brian Windhorst and his Hoop Collective had to say about the prospect that the Spurs have in growing this team, the type of player they're going to have to go get, the expectations after a great season like that. It's coming next right here on the Morning Huddle.
It's time, basketball bettors. It's March Mania. I'm Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. I endorse only one sportsbook and casino, and it's BetUS.com. They've been driving to the hoop for over 30 years, and this year, BetUS has an epic three-pointer, a 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits.